Yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Yo, 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 yo. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, Aloha. Just have shorts here. What's up? That's a good name. Shorts and shorts, that's it. Kanoff Wapaz. Good morning, Ron. Good morning, good morning. I have my options chain open. I got my charts open. Everything I said is already kind of happening, though, which kind of sucks. I was kind of looking for us to fall a little bit further, hold, recover, retake level, maybe even see a second bearish retest, but we'll see. But it already did a lot overnight. It already went down further. It built on higher lows over 629s, and then it's already jumped up into my next area. It's all good, though. We invest 2-3. What is up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you guys. The market is open in about a minute 30. Just for context clues, in case you don't have time quickly to go see a couple videos in the Discord, blah, blah, blah. Basically, we were kind of looking for it to go further under this level towards this, and then we are looking for like a liquidity grab, something that could just like break and then retake and push back up. And it's already literally done all of this except the break retake part. It just kind of went to this, sat here, recovered, and now it's kind of got its head right up against this level right here. So this is kind of what we've seen just from overnight. So in my opinion, this is to set up a liquidity grab against this level and bring us back down further. Now, when I say further, I don't mean we're going to definitely break this level. I just mean like we're probably going to go down to this low, to the PDCP of this day right here. So let me just mark that off. The halfway point, just a fancy way of saying that. So if we're going to go up to a median, to an average, to a halfway point, to just, you know, a point of relief, basically, this is probably where it wants to go, at least test. So I'm going to look this today to see if we do go down from this high right here. Does it go to this, and does it hold or break it? That's it. If we go back up, we already have previous day high / previous day open on watch, considering those are basically the same level, right? Your previous day high is right here. Your previous day open is right here. So we might as well just mark the top one and not cluster our chart. And those are the only two short-term levels I have on my screen today. Short-term meaning they're literally from either this morning or yesterday's price action. And I am going to leave the extended hours open for a little while today, and then we'll turn it back off like we normally do. I like to leave it in there for people who might not know what the F. You know, they come in here and they're like, what the heck happened? So I want them to see that. ET hit TP. Yeah, if anybody's still miraculously holding that, you can do whatever you want with it. I've already trimmed that position, and I've already told people in the past that you can literally just do whatever you want with that. It was fully in my expectations that energy was just going to keep going up regardless of the Trump-Iran situation. This isn't my first rodeo when it comes to energy going up. I don't want to make that sound cocky, but it's just every single major market shift has had energy just pump. So I felt like that was a good bet for us to just kind of look at energy stocks and be like, all right, which one of these do we like the most? And of course, I like ET the most. So that's the one I'm going to focus on. But I am happy to see ET doing super well. This is one of the stocks I've been calling out since the beginning of time in my server. And yeah, it lines up exactly with what energy is doing. Just breaking out, moving higher. This is why I said gas prices are fucked. We'll see, though. OXY is not a bad one, too. Plus, Warren Buffett must be sitting very happy right now Because that man's been accumulating shares all back here. I don't think he started buying back here, but he's been buying all in this base, and now it's back up to where he's been buying this whole time. That's kind of funny. What's up there, chat? What is up? What is up? What is up? How have you guys been doing? How was your weekend? Make sure to drop a like on the stream. Apparently, it helps out the channel. And today we're looking to see, can the buyers hold on to this early strength we have this week? Is it strength or is it a fake out for bringing more downside? We'll see. Kind of looking for directional control around 640 and 637.88. So between this area here, we're kind of looking to see, can it make some moves? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Glad to see you. I won't lie to you, YouTube is bugging out this morning. Like the UI is bugging out. I can't see as much. I tried to load up like my YouTube settings earlier, and it wouldn't load a whole lot. So I'm assuming YouTube servers are actually slow today. Let me look. Yeah, there's a lot. I was going to say, ever since this morning, right before market, it's been getting pretty buggy on YouTube, so I am sorry if the stream is a little buggy. It's nothing I can do about it. I can't even see how many of you are in here, and the text messages are loading in like slow. There could be 2 people in here right now. There could be 20,000 people in here right now. I'm just kidding. I think I'd die if we had 20,000 people in here. Rigney sucks. I agree. Good morning, Letterbuck. Good to see you, brother. This morning, we're looking for liquidity grabs above 640. We want to see a hold of 640 and a breakdown, which I guess I'm already seeing that in this first minute candle as I'm looking back. I was honestly looking at my other screen for a second, hoping things weren't moving. But yeah, I think we're going to break down from this level today, and we'll get double confirmation under 637.88. But I'm bearish under 640. I think anybody flipping the switch over one weekend is going to be part of the losses in this market moving forward. People who don't know what they want to do, they're going to lose lots of money on this dip and recovery. People also think that the recovery is just going to happen overnight. And let me tell you, the recovery is going to be 100 times slower than the amount of time it took us to get down here. It happens every single time. You know, if I was sitting up here expressing like an extreme opinion, I'd let you know this is not an extreme opinion. This is a very, very basic, very cold, lukewarm take. You know, it's very, very just average. It's not like I'm pointing anything crazy out, but yeah, liquidity grabs from the upside to the downside today. It's what we're looking for. So far from the open, that's what we're getting. We'll see if that continues. Let's check our sectors real quick. What is leading this to come down, right? So you see our tech sector here. This is about a third. Banks are up. Looks like 48.25 to 48.50 is their very key area to watch for today. Comms are slightly down, very indecisive candle on that first candle. And we have a candle eating up that first candle on discretionary. What's falling the most, though? Healthcare, staples. That's it. Healthcare, staples, and tech are all falling down at the same time, which is honestly a very bad thing to see. The reason that is because tech and staples are normally not opposites, but they do rotate in and out of each other. So if they're ever moving in the same direction, that could be a sign that the market is very strong in that direction, considering that they don't normally go the same direction. Does that make sense? I'm sorry if I'm speaking too fast or whatever. I'm sometimes just going through it. Good morning, YouTube. Hey, gorgeous man. I appreciate that. Do you think it's a good idea to buy oil right now because it's going to get higher? Buying right now, in my opinion, is just too late. And I want to explain it like this. Too many people will try to chase because they missed out when there's other markets emerging, right? You could be moving that focus and attention onto other markets or other parts of the market. instead of trying to chase something that, yeah, it might go up higher, but I just don't think it's a profitable spot to be buying. You know what I mean? I don't think it's feasible. So in my personal opinion, no, I don't think it's a good idea to buy more oil, even though we all think it's probably going to move higher, just because it's already moved so much, right? If you had said this a couple months ago, I'd be telling you hell yeah. And just so everybody knows too, there's actually a, let's go look at how much this is. Let's not just blow smoke out of our ass. Let's go see. Just to show people in here the impact of being ahead of the curve on that. I don't want to come off as like a weirdo, but we do be swing trading in my chat. Yeah, the June 18th 20 call, you could sell for, oh, if I say the number, you could sell for 6.7 right now. When I originally called that out, it was $31. That's over 100%. SPY still pulling back as expected. If you guys were like, why are we falling? You're tripping balls, dude. What day was that posted? The 4th? Jesus, dude. You're telling me we were in this candle? What is wrong with us? I mean, good job, guys. All right, 1 second. Let me post this up. Why is my Discord all weird looking? Oh, it's because I don't have it all. That's my fault. So yeah, liquidity grab 340s today. So far, it's working. We got to close over at our open today, or open over, sorry. Closed under, opened, closed. Now we're at the other key level. We've already gone from here to here. These are the two levels I said that are very key for direction today. All right, sorry, I had to type in my chat, make sure everybody knew what was going on. You guys in stream should know what's going on. I've said it 4 or 5 times now. I wanted to make sure stream or chat got it. I can't speak today. All right, SPY. There we go. All right, see if we continue lower from here. Again, we were kind of already expecting a liquidity grab below 640, so opening above it was a really good thing for us. Closing below it, really good thing for us, considering that literally gives us what we want in the first candle of the day on the 5-minute. And now 2 candles later, we're just falling. I'd like to point out that some of our largest sectors are all falling at the same time, and early on, this is what gave me confidence for it to fall a little bit this morning. Actually, healthcare and staples reverse. It's good for us. Discretionary and comms, we want to see those come down. And banks are at their resistance points. So we'll see if they continue on from here or not. I would honestly like today to just be seen as like a reset, though. Like it calm down and just kind of hold and consolidate the rest of the day. That'd be cool. Like I'm happy to be right about, oh, it's going to come down today. I'm happy to be right about that, but I'd also rather just us have like a healthy reset day for the market so we could have, you know, a really, really, really good day tomorrow. But I can't force myself on the market, so we'll just listen to what she tells us. Oh, that lines up perfectly with what I'm looking at, Eric. So that's perfect. Yeah, already having the breakdown and then being under PDCP is pretty bad. If we remain under this, I don't see why we shouldn't fall more. That's all I'm saying. Not even trying to give like extreme opinions like, guys, we're going down to 629 today. Guys, we're going to pump to 650 this week. Like, if you see anybody telling you shit like that or saying shit like that, block them, mute them, move on. It is not worth listening to noise that doesn't exist. Right? That is noise that shouldn't exist. I can't stand people who listen to noise. If I ever catch anyone here listening to noise, I promise you I'm going to not listen to you. Because people who listen to noise, what I mean by that is people who are constantly on Twitter, constantly on Instagram, constantly on Facebook, constantly on this, constantly on that, constantly trying to get everyone's opinions, constantly trying to get a vibe of the sentiment. Like, sentiment is cool. Don't get me wrong. But that's not the way to get it. Going and looking at what everyone's saying on different threads and stuff, like, I can't stand people who look at stuff like that. You know, those are the people that get lost and forget who they are and forget what they're doing. Those are the people that do that. People who are more focused on what others are saying than what they're doing, right? You should be more focused on what's in front of you, not focused on what somebody on your feed is saying today, right? Because I promise you, 9 times out of 10, you're getting lied to, and it's because it's someone else's emotions. It's not that they're trying to lie to you or hurt you. I mean, maybe they are, but 9 times out of 10, they're probably not. But these people just don't know what they're doing. All they do is feel, emotion, 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 fear, 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 greed, greed, greed. That's all they know. So, of course, they're going to express those types of opinions, those extremely emotional opinions online, where they feel probably pretty safe. Because, again, I mean, even if you're wrong online, who really cares? It's not like it's the end of the world. You just do it again. Do it again next week. You know, the short span of people, they're not going to care. But it does amaze me how many people that are like that. And I really hope a lot of you guys are not doing that. I hope a lot of you guys are more focused on just key levels. Like today, are we under CDO? Yes. Where's PDCP? Since we're under CDO, we should probably go to that. Have that marked. Oh, they're close? Okay, well, guess what? We're using those both as a whole area to give us direction for the day, maybe even for the next couple of days to start the week. See how easy that is to just kind of reset myself and put myself back on course, put myself back on track. And I didn't say any of that stuff without, you know, being too bearish or too bullish. Because again, we should never be 100% bearish or bullish. You're never 100% going to be bearish. You're never 100% going to be bullish. That is a fact. So stop trying to feel out everything. Your intuition will pick up the more that you start to do your prep work. And then you can abuse your intuition all you want. I give you complete access. Because trust me, trading with intuition is really good, but you shouldn't just start off trading with intuition because you don't actually know what you're trying to trade. You don't know the processes you're trying to go through to make your trade make sense. So stop trying to skip steps. And I'm not even targeting anybody in here. I haven't seen anything to even trigger this conversation, but I just wanted to go over it because I feel like it's such an easy thing to do. I think it's super easy to go online, share your emotions, get lost in the sauce, and just start fading away. I just don't think that's a good thing. So I hope a lot of you guys stay away from that stuff. Even if you are one of those tough people who are like, you know, that doesn't bother me, you know, it doesn't matter if it doesn't bother you. It's the fact that you're reading it. When you go into that chart and you try to trade it later or whatever day, those thoughts are going to be roaming around in your head. And they're going to remind you, oh, hey, but remember Trump, Iran. You know, maybe you're finding a good long setup and you're being fear-mongered, or vice versa. Maybe you're looking at a short setup and you're being lied to. You know, everyone's like, guys, it's actually bullish. I ran this. I ran that. It's okay. Like, these news pieces are important, but they don't run your life. And if there's anybody in here who is bullish right now, I would love to hear a counter argument because I don't see why we should go up today. I've already said before the market opened, we should probably fall just because of how this pre-market is showing. I mean, it just feels like they discounted us back up, so they have a chance of going back down. If we were starting down here, there was no chance of going down further. You guys remember my conversation where I said, not everybody can be bearish, not everybody can be bullish, or we won't move? It's the same thing here. If you're looking at this chart and you're going, oh my God, we're just falling off the face of the earth for no reason. No, there is an actually great reason. We just discounted back up to 640 after closing at 634s. So yes, there's a very good reason why we're falling. And you see how I did that without saying Iran, Trump, Powell, inflation, interest rate. Like, I did all that without coming up with a bunch of news to fearmonger, because that's what that is. Don't let people lie to you just because they don't understand it. Oh, but news is news. News is news, Bueller. I have to pay attention to it. Yes, you totally can. But if all you do is focus on news, you are going to get lost. It amazes me how many people will call that stuff out and then be so fearful of it. Like, brother, you had a plan to short. You had a plan to long. Stop letting other things get in your way. And I don't see any counter arguments in the chat for this going up right now, so nothing to recover, I guess, since a lot of you are probably bearish as well. Well, hold up, Eric. I don't know if I'd type that. I'm going to remove that message. He is speaking, but he's literally speaking to children. He's at a college right now. He's at Harvard, I think. He's literally talking to students. So no, I'm not gonna repost that and tell people, hey guys, be careful. That's the only reason I deleted that, because I don't want people thinking like, oh my God, he's talking about interest rates today. We have no fucking idea what that man's gonna talk about. I honestly think it's gonna be just like scripted shit, though. I doubt he would give us revealing information at Harvard. Is the only reason I have that stance. But hey, I could be wrong. Motherfucker comes out and says interest rates are gonna start flying again. I'm wrong. But yeah, guys, Powell's at Harvard right now. He'll be speaking in about 41 minutes or an hour and 41 minutes. I might have read Eric's time wrong on that. I only know that because I saw Rob posted in the Discord this morning. He was like the first message in chat today. So I was like, okay. So that information is like fresh in my head. Just because that was the first thing I read. By the way, thank you again, Eric, for sharing my stream link. I saw you did that. Eric Og Knopf Wapaz. I feel like I'm speaking alien language. And yeah, I just repeated myself in chat. I don't want to come off as cocky, but that shit was a little too easy to call out. We were up big after closing down. Seems more discounted for shorts than it does for buyers. Meaning price is up big after being down big. Seems more of like a discount for a quick downside move at the beginning of the day. I hope I'm making sense on that too. I don't want to just tout shit off and you guys be like, yep, that's word. That's what we want. I want to make sense of it as I'm going through it. If you guys are in here, by the way, make sure to drop a like on the stream. Say hello, say good morning, say whatever you want. Honestly, just be nice. Be chill. It's really the only real rules in this channel. Be yourself, be chill. Don't be too political, don't be too whatever. Just be yourself. That's the you that we want to get to know. We don't care about the fake you. Stupid busy this AM with work. No mood for me. Just gonna take in information, hitting my like button and say asa. The classic asa. I appreciate you, Carter. And honestly, shout out to anyone that's like that in here. I have a lot of people who have like 10, 15 minutes of time to check the stream. And then maybe the next day they have hours to look, and then the next day they don't have any time. To anyone in here who just takes the quick second to come in here, even though you don't have time and you like my stuff and you just say hi, like, I seriously love you. You're like one of the heartbeats of this group. So I do appreciate that a ton. Like, I can't even express to you how much I appreciate that. Because I know that any one of you could just be like, fuck it, I'm not loading it today. I'll just do shit myself. And you would either overtrade or you could just be like, fuck this, I'm not trading at all. So I'm actually super happy that I have people like that just, even if they don't have time, they just show up and click it. Wait, you don't want me to be fake me? But I work so hard on that persona. On that persona. Goes to alternate YouTube account, uses alternate persona. That's funny. Oh my god, you just gave me a good reminder. I finally saw that Hail Mary movie. Y'all need to go see that. That might be the best movie of the year. And I don't say that lightly. It's called Project Hail Mary with Ryan Gosling. I'm not joking. That movie is a banger. And then I finally watched the second 28 Years Later movie that came out either last year or this year. And low key, kind of mid. Kind of mid. Number 1 and number 2, very mid. They did something at the very end of the movie that made you be like, what the fuck? You know? It's one of those. But not in a good what the fuck either. It was a bad WTF. It was like a Game of Thrones WTF. You know, you're like, what am I watching? But yeah, Project Hail Mary. Y'all need to watch that. If you don't want to pay money to see it, I'll share where I saw it in Off Topic channel, but I can't really say much more than that. You're welcome ahead of time, though. No, you're good. I know what it meant, Eric. I'm literally goofing off reading it wrong on purpose. Og Kanafwapaz. I know what it means. I also thought you were going to do it on YouTube, but then I was like, nah, I don't know if he can even do that name on YouTube. Might literally get banned. Is anybody having issues this morning with TA? It does sound Klingon. I'm sorry, but that was the most bearish I've ever talked about a chart before it opened. I said nothing but it's going down this morning, basically. Now, I did get some confirmations, though. We wanted to see it open over this and then close under it, the 639.85. And then we wanted to see it go down and break the orange level, which is the halfway point of previous day. So I'm happy to see it already do those first two things in the first 15 minutes. Also, we have tech falling off the face of the earth, so that kind of helps out, just because it is like a big chunk of this chart. At the same time, we had these, staples kind of just sit to the right. Healthcare just sat to the right. Discretionary pulled back, is trying to recover. Calm's actually not looking too bad. Banks pulled back a little bit, even looking worse. And healthcare has pulled back significantly from the open. I mean, like, it's just like, what are we doing, guys? If you aren't looking at sectors, you're actually trolling. Actually trolling. Huh, they sure look a lot alike. It's almost like this one's a big chunk of that one. I'm sorry, like, if you're in here and you don't look at these and you hear me tout about these every single week, you're trolling. You're actually living under a bridge trolling me right now. Cheesy good. Oh, I can't even give a whole lot of updates, man. It's just falling. If you guys are enjoying this stream so far, please drop a like on it. Say hello if you're a new, fresh face. We did have a couple new faces in the beginning of the stream say good morning. Hopefully they're still hanging around. If you guys ever have any criticisms, throw them out. Just make sure you're not actually just attacking me. That's not criticism. That's just being an idiot. So feel free to throw those out. If you guys have anything to say. Letterbuck in the chat just said triple Q gap filled, and I see Eric here saying NQ bearish candles with lowering volume as we head into the Friday low. So it looks like regardless of volume or not, I have had two different traders point out tech is approaching pretty key levels right now. So we'll see if this continues, but triple Q already filled its gap. NQ approaching its PDL, its Friday low. So we'll look to see if this is where they break lower or this is where they start to settle and just kind of consolidate out a little bit more. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think either of those scenarios would surprise me. I don't think falling further would surprise me, and I don't think holding here and consolidating out and building back up would surprise me. The only thing that I was honestly 100% of this doing today was losing most of its pre-market gains. If you guys have any questions on that, please feel free to go over that. We've gone over it a few times now, but if you have any questions on that, please feel free to ask. If not, though, we're going to move on. I don't really want to keep just saying the same thing over and over again because it just sounds really weird. It sounds like I care about being right, and I think that's just really weird. I don't want you guys to act like that either. You should honestly be looking to be right. Yes, you want to be right all the time, no shit. But you don't want to act that way because then all you're going to think about is trying your best to be right. And that's a no-no. That's not good. I'm not even clicking the right damn levels. So yeah. But I was pretty confident we're going to lose most of our pre-market gains at the beginning of today. So there's no reason we should be up. Relief mounts from falling too much. If that's the reason, then there's no reason why we should keep going up. And again, as you see, I'm not using, black magic. I'm not using fucking voodoo dolls. I'm not using 1,000 indicators. I'm simply just looking to the left of my fucking chart and reminding myself what context I've seen, what context I have, and I'm using that to create better decisions moving forward, using other key levels too. So this is why I say, like, you can apply this, like, theory of mine to literally anybody's strategy, regardless of what indicators they use, what levels they use. It doesn't matter. Using the context of the recent left or context of the market or just context. I don't even care where you're getting it from at this point. It is very, very helpful because it allows you to just make better decisions, right? You were probably already going to make a good 50-50 decision, but that's just gambling. Don't you want to increase your odds and kind of make it a little bit more in your favor? And when you're wrong, too, on the other hand of that, on the other side of that coin, when I'm wrong, I want to know that I'm wrong. I don't want to just sit here and be like, well, I could have done this, and I could have done that, and I wish I didn't do this, and I wish I would have done that. It's like you're just pointing out hypotheticals. So let's not do that to ourselves. Let's not put ourselves in this hypothetical situation where we can be constantly making ourselves wrong and not even know why. Sectors, sectors, sectors. I wrote it out in YouTube chat. There you go. You have it. A lot of really cool posts in the 2 Bias channel as well, if you guys haven't had time to go look at that as well, but I would definitely peep it. If you're on YouTube here and you have the YouTube membership, by the way, I did upload both of the new videos from yesterday in my Discord. So if you don't really care about Discord, but you have YouTube access, go check that out. You have 2 new videos as well. Made sure I hooked up. And yeah, sorry for all the extra talking here at the beginning, but I'd like to get all of my updates and stuff out so you guys have that context ahead of time. I don't like to sit here and be like, oh, I think it's going to fall, you know, like 5 candles into that drop. It's like, that's not really helpful. And now that we've reacted to 635, I guess we could talk about that. This is another level that we could just fall further from. But I would like to see at least an initial reaction, kind of like what we're seeing right here. Just an initial, hey, buyers are somewhat present here. It may not just because of this level. We're also really close to the bottom of yesterday. The close is right there, and the low is right here. So we're not much further from the lows of Friday session. Right, so we haven't moved any lower than we've already seen, but we've definitely lost all that we've gained from the previous day low and close. So I think I'd like to see it consolidate out and then make its decision of either building back up to this or falling further, right? Because if it builds back up, it's going to that orange line, most likely. It's just a good median. If it breaks back under 635 after any kind of short-term, slowdown here, then it has the energy to fall a lot further, right? If it just falls instantly, it's not going to go straight to 629. If it has some time and some relief in between, a drop, a little bit of spacing, and then another drop, now it has the energy to do so. So we'll see if it makes it to that. I still can't see how many people are in here or have liked the stream, so I'm just going to quit looking. Because I was trying to see if we hit our like goal yet, but YouTube server is actually fucking up. I'm just glad YouTube's allowing us to stream, honestly. Let's see if the servers are fixed. Oh my god, it doesn't look like it. That's a bullish trend. This looks like a VIX chart. Trump tweeted. Nothing happened, nothing happened, nothing happened, nothing happened, nothing happened. I ran. Sorry. Bad humor. It was fucking hilarious how many tweets I saw where it's like, bro, VIX is discount right now. Like, what are you talking about? You see 15 likes? All right, bet. I'm trying to get to 20 every stream. 20 every stream would be cool. So fork them likes over, people. 20 likes is all we're asking for. And yeah, Project Hail Mary. Y'all need to go see that. An off-topic channel. There's a way of circumventing paying your hard-earned cash. Like I said, you're welcome ahead of time. I'll never act cocky like that when I'm calling out stocks. Like, you're welcome ahead of time. Like, illegal. Oh, wait, I probably shouldn't say that. Place to see things we shouldn't see. Yeah, check that out off topic channel if you want some free shit. How was y'all's weekend, by the way? How was everyone's weekend? How did everyone do? What are you guys up to right now? What are you looking at right now? Are you guys busy at work? Are you guys sitting here trading with me? What are we all doing? I need a vibe check. Early in the morning vibe check. Like I said, regardless of being a Discord member or a YouTube member, there are 2 new videos for everybody. They both kind of cover SPY and the sectors. They both do it in a different way. And then on the second video, it has the long-term pick conversation in there for anybody who might have, been looking at that stuff with me before. All of that is posted and updated. All right, I'm turning off this shit here. I'm tired of looking at it. We get it. We went up. Thoughts on shorting airlines? All of them, or are you including? I had someone ask me this like a couple weeks ago, and I was like, honestly, probably not a bad idea. Now, I want to say yes, but I want to tell you to be careful about just this low over here. This is the Jets ETF, by the way. It's just one of the major airline ETFs. But if you want to go actually just look at the individual equities, please do so. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't looked at them enough to give you a confident answer. I would say yes just by default, but oh, that's right. Spirit isn't a thing anymore. I would definitely check out Jets though, just to kind of keep yourself aware of what they're all doing. So if you're looking at an individual, that's fine, but just make sure you pull this up or some sort of Jets ETF up so you can see like, okay, this is what they're all doing. And if you have a chart, Elias, feel free to tag me in the Discord so I can see it as well. If you happen to, be looking at something in particular that's just not what I'm looking at, totally cool. Great weekend, busy at work today. I will be off and on. I will be off and looking to trade tomorrow. Okay, cool. No, totally fine. I figured you guys are pretty busy on. Honestly, Mondays and Wednesdays seem to be days that people in my chat are actually pretty busy on. It's funny because then I'm busy on the opposite of those days. And I really do hope y'all check out those 2 new videos. I don't get any money for you watching them. They're private member videos on YouTube and Discord, so I don't get anything extra out of it. But I really do hope you guys check that stuff out because I did go really hard on those videos, and I think it's really good information in those, and it's really good updates without trying to sound too bearish or bullish. Just again, showing off what's happened, going over what can happen next from there. We even talk about today's scenario in those videos. Where we plan on opening higher but pulling back. That was all talked about. Now that we're down here, I kind of want to see this cool off a little bit. Whether it means bouncing and going back up to this orange level here, which is the halfway point, or just kind of sitting down here closer to 635, that's fine. I would like to see it sit down here for like 20, 30 minutes at the very least. If more, awesome. If less, not as awesome. We're already approaching almost 15 minutes of this. To see again if it's just a reset before pulling back more, or if it's actually trying to work itself to this to get over it. Because if that's the case, then I'll probably stop shorting for the rest of the day. If it is still under this, you could probably catch another short here. Yeah, it says there's 0 people watching. That's really goofy on my end. And half the numbers are blank, like if there's no number there at all. Like average view duration, it's just blank. Viewer activity, there is no activity. That's what it literally says. Yeah, YouTube side's a little buggy today, huh? All good. YouTube hasn't failed us yet. If anything, my internet is more weak than I would say YouTube servers. YouTube servers are pretty badass, not gonna lie. I rarely have issues. So that's why I'm bringing it up, because I just want to share, like, I am not able to see what the hell you are saying sometimes. Honestly, Lulu Simpson, whenever there's new people that join my chat, I tell them not to sign up. I tell them to just kind of come chill out and hang out for a little bit and see, if there's anything that you can take away. Because there's an immense amount of free material on the YouTube. There's an immense amount of free material in the Discord. So if you do join the group, I really do beg you to not sign up instantly. So no, we don't have free trials, but that's just because a lot of shit's just shared for free. and I'm too lazy to set up free trials because I run it all by myself. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully that was helpful. If you do join the Discord or you do check out the YouTube stuff, awesome. Feel free to ask questions too. It's mostly a safe space. I say mostly just because if you're someone who's in my chat who has been going over the same thing over and over, I'm not going to be nice. I'm going to be getting on to you. But you have no reason, so you shouldn't be scared. I definitely get on to people who do the same thing over and over and over again without actually taking in new things. And we go over things 50 different ways just to make sure someone understands something. Not that I can make someone understand something, but you know what I mean. Try to break it up in different ways so that hopefully it does like a light bulb moment for them. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. It does amaze me, though, how many people will have over the years just joined my group, signed up, didn't learn anything, left, just because they didn't even try, when there's actually tons of free material you can look at before even thinking about doing that kind of thing, right? Just on the YouTube channel alone. I haven't even gone to the Discord and shown you, like, all the shit that's in there that's literally for free. You could literally just join, see it instantly. There's so many pinned messages across my server that are literally just really, really old, like PDFs and stuff, just old videos, old shit like that. Some of the links that I shared to are like really old ones from like just maybe someone was like, oh, this is a favorite moment of mine, and I link it. So I'm like, all right, I'll save it. But it does amaze me how much like free shit is on this channel and how much people will just join to sign up but not actually learn shit. I think it's a curse, honestly. I think it's a very bad habit a lot of people make. I'm not saying you're like that, but I know a lot of people who just sign up, don't learn anything, leave. Sign up, don't learn anything, leave. And they do this with multiple groups before they finally get burnt out. So I like to make that warning to everybody in here ahead of time, so hopefully you aren't burnt out. I do mainly focus on SPY. I go over all of the SPY weights, all the different individual equities, and I go over the individual sectors that make up SPY. So you could say, yes, I mainly focus on SPY, but people who ask that question are asking a very bad question. I'm not trying to be mean to you, but when you say, do you only focus on SPY, do you realize SPY is over 500 individual equities? So when people ask me that, I really do take offense because it makes it seem like I'm only watching one chart, when in reality, I'm watching like 500 plus charts at once. Not just SPY. I can go to any of these and make it make sense. I can go to any of these and make it make sense. So you could say I mainly trade SPY, but I really do a lot. It's not just one chart. So I don't want you to be like, oh my God, he only watches SPY. What a fucker. No, I go over QQQ. I go over IWM. I go over all kinds of these individual weights. I even go over the sectors that make them up. If you come in here, you're not just going to see me chart SPY. You're just going to see me talk about SPY a lot because it is the most important when we're in the equity market. Is it pointless to notice SPY daily Friday into today seems oddly similar to 7:30? Would you say 30 to 31? Oh, I'm already past it. From this candle to this candle, right? That's what you're looking at? I just want to double check before I move on. Is it pointless to notice something like that, though? No, because you're gathering context. In my videos, just recently, yesterday that I posted, you'll hear me do the exact same thing. I scroll back out and I'm like, this is actually very similar to, and I highlight these two. I go over liquidity grabs. I go over how many times these have happened. I go over the bounces and how many of them were liquidity grabs, which is what we're potentially seeing now. So no, that's not pointless. No, that's getting context. That is context you are gathering, good sir. Would I say they're similar? I think I see why you're saying that. It's just I can't say they're similar because one of these are on a back trend are on the back end of an uptrend, and one are on the back end of or we don't know if it's the back end, but you know what I mean, on a downtrend. So the context leading up to those candles are not the same, but yes, technically you're correct. But no, that is exactly what is the meat and potatoes of my strategy. People think I mean, probably people in here who disagree with me right now about that. The most key part of my strategy can be different things to different people. It could be just the levels. It could be just the candlestick patterns that we use to get past certain things. But I truly believe it's the context, because the context is something I can apply to any strategy, right? I don't care if you're using EMAs. I don't care if you're using Bollinger Bands. I don't care if you have MACD, whatever the fuck you have on. You can use context to make yourself better trades, to make better decisions in your trades. It's the same, and I always use the same example because it is truly the best example in my opinion. It's just like watching movies. Let's say we're watching a murder mystery together, right? You and me are on a date, and we got popcorn and shit like that, and we're just looking cute, basically. And we're watching this murder mystery, and in the beginning, you say, well, I think this guy did it. I'm going to call bullshit on you because we haven't seen a damn single scene yet, so you're just making shit up. Now, let's say halfway through the movie, you try to guess it. You know, I'm probably not going to call bullshit on you because, you know, we actually have context and you could take a stab at it. Let's say we're 90% of the way through the movie and we still, for some reason, don't know the murderer. That is probably the best time to take the guess, because you have the most context you're probably going to get. You know the outcome is coming soon. So it's not guessing. It's using things to make your guess a little bit more than a guess. Does that make sense? You're basically dividing up the probability in front of you, and you're able to kind of separate, okay, this is the lower probability situation. This is the higher probability situation. But hopefully that makes sense to all of you, because that should be how you use context when trading. And it's funny because that works on all time frames too. It's not like I just locked this down to, if you're not using 5-minute candles, you're an idiot. Like, no, it's plenty of things you can do. You can use it on the daily. You can use it on the 1 minute. You can use it on fucking tick charts. You can use it on the 30-minute. You know, it's whatever you want to use it on. What is your preference? Which I think is another cool conversation. You know, preferences in the market. You know, it's funny how everyone will be like, if you aren't doing this, you're not trading right. It's like, brother, everyone's different. Of course we're not all doing that, you idiot. Let's say I like this level, and I like that I have it colored vanilla, right? And then someone in chat comes in here and is like, well, I like that. I like to mark my levels green. Brother, that doesn't matter. That is a personal preference. That's exactly what I'm trying to get at. Too many people get too caught up on their preferences instead of just focusing on what's actually important, your context. It shouldn't matter how you chop it up. The context should always make sense. Whether you're using context in terms of like, this is what price is doing based on previous day levels or pre-market, and it has room to this or room to that after breaking this or that. You know, that's what I want to hear. That's what you guys should be talking like. You should be talking to yourself that way too. If you go to any of my old review videos, any of my recent trade videos, a lot of it is just me talking to myself and just reviewing what I'm seeing, what is it doing based on what, and then I move on from there. It is that simple. Now, is it easy to trade? No, I would never fucking tell a single soul that. I think the hardest thing to do in trading, though, is not starting, and it's not anything like that. I genuinely believe the hardest thing in trading is maintaining. Any jackass can open a trading account. Any dumbass can open a trade and take a trade. Anybody can do that. It's a click of a button. I could teach an animal to do this, right? But actually understanding what you're doing behind that clicking is what's important. The context, what you're doing next, right? Maintaining is the hardest part. Keeping your sanity, maintaining your prep, coming into this week with the same mindset as the one you had last week. It's very hard to do. And guys, that's been about, what, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes since we bounced. That is enough time for this to pull back again if it doesn't make it to the orange level again. Be on the lookout if we don't make any new lows that it can just start working towards that orange 50% level. Buyer recovery. More of a buyer reaction than anything. But we have had enough time for this to be feasible for this to pull back further. Sorry. So watch out for the 635 break. Very possible here now that we've settled here a little bit longer. Keeping my left eye open on this right here. If that number gets bigger, red, then this is going to get bigger red. It's that simple. Now, if any of these start working together and kind of ruining that, then I'm going to understand, okay, consolidation is in effect. We have a lot of red, green, red, green, red, green. So keeping my eyes on both of those as well. And if you have a chart open to like all of these and this at the same time, awesome. If you just flick through them like I do, awesome. Again, that's another personal preference. Welcome to the Bueller Trade stream. Glad to have you. I hope you're having a decent start to your week. If you have anything to share, please feel free to share it. I would definitely say our Monday and Tuesday streams are always my favorite. I don't know what it is. I know when I was growing up, I hated the beginning of the week. For some reason, I fucking love the beginning of the week now. Probably all credit to you guys in the streams, honestly, making Mondays and Tuesdays not so Monday and Tuesday. We got tons of cool people in here too. People who look at futures, people who look at crypto, people who look at equities like I am right now. Most people in my chat do all, though. They don't like to just look at one thing, which respect. I'm sure a lot of you are that way, though. I don't know why people do that. I think it's cool, but at the same time, like, man, I want to look at other stuff, though. Not for like over trading, but just for understanding. You know, I want to be able to answer somebody when they say ES or NQ, and then they're like, well, what does it look like on SPY and Triple Q? You know, it should be, the layout should be the exact same, is why I'm very comfortable with those. Now, are the levels and the numbers ever going to line up? No, not a lot of the time. But the layout is the exact same. And then to crypto people, you know, it's kind of cool talking to them here and there about what they're looking at, because it is funny how like everyone was like kind of talking about crypto, and now all of a sudden no one's talking about it, and it's just dumping off the face of the earth. So I think crypto is a really, really good like extra market too, because it has that same emotion. It has that same, oh, it's not going up, I'm not watching it energy, you know, which is great, because if we know it's being avoided, it's probably going to start being good for dip buys soon. Maybe not right here, right now, but you know what I'm saying. Could almost, and see, I didn't even go over like a real like indicator. I'm literally just going off the fact that it's been pulling back and no one's talking about it anymore. Everyone was talking about Coinbase and crypto. Now no one's talking about it. It's because it's pulling back. People aren't so noisy when things are pulling back. They're more noisy when they're right and they're going up and they're correct. Ego speaks louder than defeat. Every fucking time. Oh, but yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the stream, though, seriously. We'll go through some more stuff here in a little. Make sure to drop a like on the stream. It has almost been an hour since the beginning. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything you want to share as well, please feel free to. This is not just the Bueller Talk stream. I mean, I am the one with the talking permissions, but I try my best to read out literally everything that's said in here. So if you guys have something you want to share, throw it out there. I'll read it. I don't like to make it just about me. I feel weird when I do that because it just, I don't know, it's weird. I don't like people like that either. I don't like when people are always about themselves and full of themselves and just not even cocky, just overconfident in the wrong direction where it kind of feels like it's cockiness. I don't like that at all. I think it's good to be confident, but I don't think it's good to be delusionally confident. I think you should all be confident, but you shouldn't be so confident that you blind yourself. Also, it just comes off as really shitty to other people when they hear stuff like that. Like, imagine if I was in here and I touted off how perfect I'm doing or how good I'm doing or this or that. You know, no one wants to hear that shit. That's just weird. Especially not in that tone of light. Just work your ass off and other people will see it. You don't need to make sure people are watching either. It's like trying to film yourself feeding the homeless just so you could post it online. It's like, it's cool that you're feeding them, but like, what you could clearly see like your main intention was to make sure you were filming while you were doing it. You know, there's people who get filmed doing those things, and then there's people who film to do those things. There's a complete difference in that conversation. And I think all of that applies in the real world, honestly. I think you could apply that to so many different things. And I'm sure, you know, I've done it before. All of you have done it before. You know, we're not robots. We've probably all overstepped our boundaries before in some way, shape, or form, you know? I just think it's important to remember that and to, you know, remind yourself, hey, cool off.
calm down, slow down, whatever you need to hear. Yeah, let's look to see if this recovers back to the midpoint of previous day, or is this going to fall further under 635s? Honestly, I'd be totally cool with it just sitting between this gray area all day, but we'll see if that happens or not. I don't like to be too hopeful. Also, what's the temperature like for everybody right now? I know recently it's been getting cold and then it got hot again. What is everyone's temperatures like right now where they live? Is it bipolar right now like me, or what is it like? It's 63 there? Jesus. What is the exact temperature here? I think it's pretty close to yours. Oh, no, it's 72 here. Yeah. It's funny because it says the highs are 90, the lows are 64. My brother in Christ, that is almost 30 degrees. That is such a crazy range to give. That's like if I said, guys, SPY could go down to 600 today or 700 today. Like, that is such a large range. It's like, am I actually being helpful by saying that? I always think that about the news when I see like the temperatures. I'm always like, man, I feel like they're always trying to save their own ass by just giving us really good extreme answers for both sides, and then therefore they can never actually be wrong. Like that's what it feels like when I'm looking at like news companies like report like temperatures. It always feels like that. It always feels like they're lying just so like they can cover their bases. Not trying to be like malicious. It's a joke. But still, makes you think. Sucks for you, Rigny65 here. You're watching it right now? All right, well, bro, go watch that. Don't be in here. You want to give your full attention when you watch that movie. It is so fucking good. I'm such a sucker for like space movies too that are that exact thing. Because there's one with Adam Sandler and he's like hanging out with a spider, and I don't even like spiders, but that movie was a banger. That movie had me cry. I don't know what it is with these like space exploration movies. They'll draw a tear. But yeah, have fun with that, Rigney. I'm assuming you're on the thing I sent. It shouldn't have ads, and if there are like something on your thing, there's like a streaming option you can change, like the source that it comes from, and it should fix that if you happen to run into that. Just so you know, because I had that happen to me, and then I changed it, and I didn't have that anymore, and I was like, okay, cool. It said like 100x bet or something behind the screen. I'm like, why the fuck do I have an ad while I'm watching it? It's supposed to rain 5 to 6 days, the next 5 to 6 days. Sadly, what the fuck? Hey, you could take a break this week, right? Ha ha ha. No work, right? Ha ha. Oh, my bad. I can't see who did that. I'm assuming that's Maddie or one of you older people in here. It says message retracted. I can't see your member for 36 months message. Do you say anything cool? See, that's what I'm talking about. What letter Buck just said? He said it's currently 54, but it's supposed to be 82 today. What? Dude, this can't be good for the ground. I forgot that's where you live, or that's where you're at. That was you? Okay. I thought it was you, but I wanted to make sure. Thank you again, Maddie. I always appreciate you, brother. Whatever your retracted message was, I respect it. Unless it was some racist shit. Then of course I can't respect it. It's a cool 60 in South Cal. Ooh. God, that is so nice. Oh wait, yeah, 36 months is 3 years. Damn, bruh. Damn, I've been scamming you for 3 years. No, I'm kidding. This weather keeps the road or the road repair companies employed. Yeah, you are not lying. I was bitching about tollway roads, bro. These people having to just work on all the roads. They're getting their bag. That's for sure. I just know that's not good for just the overall ground. Because I remember growing up and learning that like shifting of temperatures is like actually horrible. Like for the land you live on. I guess that just makes sense. There's no really arguing that. Still though, just crazy. Stay safe out there. It does kind of suck too when you finally get used to like, oh, it's cool and cold out here. I love that. You finally get used to it, and then it's like hot as fuck the next week, and you're like, what the hell? That is probably more annoying than the actual temperatures. It's just the fact that you have to like you finally got used to it, and then it switches again. It's like, oh, come on, man. I just wanted to wear a jacket. No, it does. I'm just saying it's not good for the soil. No, yeah, it definitely has an effect on man-made things, especially our roads. Very bad. But yeah, I think the most annoying thing is just going from I need a jacket to just kidding. I wish I could wear nothing this week. It's like holy fuck. I hate that feeling the most. Cold to hot, hot to cold. It just sucks having to try and get used to it again so quickly. I used to work outside like literally every day, so trust me, these are valid complaints. I would definitely say working in like honestly, I don't know which one's worse, hot or cold working in. Like truly hot or cold, not just slightly. I found it pretty impossible to keep working when I was in the rain and it was like freezing outside. We were like doing work outside too and it was actually so bad. Like my hands were like stuck while holding like a metal pipe wrench. Like it was not good. And then in the heat it kind of sucks when it's too dry, but you can kind of deal with it for a while. It just sucks when you have like recovered so much of your fluids and then you're like in that state of mind where you're like, and you're just like so tired because it's just fucking hot and you're tired of drinking water. So I don't know actually. Gun to my head, I don't know which one is worse. Shit, not when it's raining, Maddie. I have the same opinion, but I'm thinking of a specific job I was on where I was working on something outside on someone's house. And it was cold and I was loving it. I was loving it. I was having a fucking grand time, honestly, because I was working my ass off and I was sweating and I was warm like you're saying right now. And it was perfect. I was fighting off the cold with my own sweat. And then it started raining. And that's when I was like, oh, we are so cooked. It literally deleted all of that. But yeah, I agree with you though heavily on that. It is so nice when it's like cold and you're working and you're warm because it's like you're the one keeping yourself warm by being productive. So it's a really nice feeling. But when it starts raining, oh god. We'd mow in the rain and so yeah, that's annoying, dude. Mowing in the rain that's probably worse than anything I just complained about. I can't stand I haven't done that in a long time, but mowing in the rain, dude, oh my god. Everything on you is green, there's grass all over you, there's grass everywhere. You don't even care about how good it smells outside anymore because you're just like, what the fuck, I'm all messy now. Yeah, that is a bad feeling. Mowing in the rain is pretty bad. Virginia Beach spring, cold in the morning and summer in the afternoon. Yeah, that literally sounds like Texas, like South Texas. I'm sure my South California and Arizona and Floridians will agree with me on that. It's crazy how we're all in different states and so many of us have the exact same like type of weather. Whenever I hear someone from Arizona complain about like heat, I'm like, yeah, these guys are so valid. These guys are so valid. If I hear someone from the north complain about heat, I'm like, all right, man, just shut up. You're just not used to it. But if you ever hear someone from the south complaining about heat, that is when you're like, okay, that has got to be hot. They're not bluffing. Good morning, Tobias. Good to see you, brother. How is it over in the Netherlands? There's actually a Counter-Strike tournament there the other day, man. In Rotterdam. I think that's in the Netherlands. I could be wrong. Is Rotterdam in the Netherlands? Or is that Germany? Oh, it is? Okay, cool. It just doesn't sound like I don't have like a good dialect of Netherlands yet. Like I don't have like anything in my head that I'm like, oh, that's Netherlands stuff. I have total stereotypes for like German and Austria, for the Brits, you got all these for the French, Russians, Italy, you got all these stereotypes, but it's really hard to think of like Netherlands stereotypes. What is the Netherlands stereotype? What is the most Netherlands stereotype I could remember? Tobias, you being from there and all. The two best European countries are Austria and the Netherlands, and we have people from both of them. I'm speaking out of my ass, by the way. It's not. These are not facts. Tech still down about $1. Anchored VWAP for beginning day sentiment's totally fine. That's been backtested before. Totally fine. Just don't use it by itself. Make sure you're using like context of, oh, well, we're under this and that, but we're above this. Make sure you're still doing that. That needs to happen no matter what we're doing. But no, there's nothing wrong with that. We are tall and rudely honest. Tall and rudely honest. I have to remember that. That gives me like a German vibe where they're like, they don't have humor. Because I feel like that's the big thing between, and FIFA has said this a few times to me as well. It's like the big difference between like Austria and Germany. Like, yeah, they speak the same shit basically. They sound the same kind of, but if you actually like listen to the person you're talking to, you'll hear like people who are Austrian are like genuinely actually funny, whereas Germans are like, their humor is so deadpan. They got windmills and wait, what? Tulips? Yeah, Germans have no humor and I don't know about the zero money part. But maybe you know better than I do. But yeah, no humor. That's like a really good stereotype for them. I mean, they've even been made fun of by South Park for their no humor. Windmills and tulips, bruh. Just reminded me of like this part of the Elden Ring map. Yeah, people in the Netherlands are just NPCs from Elden Ring. That's not nice to say. Tall and rudely honest. Germany is a rich country filled with poor people. Damn, it sounds like my country. All right, guys, let's see if more downsides come in soon or not. Curiosity is going to kill the cat here, but I got to know. Okay, it's way the F up there. If the 50% of the gap down was like perfectly right here or here, I would have flipped. But I was like, it didn't look like it was because we did open a lot higher. But I wanted to double check that. Don't just eyeball it. Make sure you also draw it out. But yeah, being under this is not good, and then getting under this pretty quickly is not good. Remaining under that, not good. Gives us the chance of breaking this. Where do we go down to from here? Previous day close is right here. Previous day low is right here. After those two key levels, short term, there isn't another level until 630s. 629. I'm not saying that it can't stop in between, but I just like to point out the distance between the previous day low and that 629. There's about a $4 drop there. So there's still pretty good movement on the plate here today if anybody hasn't caught a trade yet. Personally, I'm still a little bit more bearish than bullish just because of how this didn't really consolidate. It just kind of reacted up, and then it just has not made a new single high at all since that third green candle. Not a single new high has been made. Tech got worse, too, to kind of back that up, too. Tech has gotten worse. They're still falling. Really, the only thing holding them up, too, is the fact that the other sectors aren't just dumping through the floor. I would say that's the only reason that we haven't dumped even more today. Because other sectors aren't just dumping. Tech is, but every other sector is not. So it does give me a little cause for concern that we might be a little bit more bearish than bullish, but not for long. So it really is focused on, does tech keep dumping or not? Rent instead of owning a home, majority of them don't own stocks. Their homes look like they got furnished in 1896. Jesus. Well, I hope no German viewers see this. No hate to them, of course. I'm just too loyal to the Netherlands and Austria now, man. I can't. I got people in places. All right, guys, new dump coming. Let's see how long it holds up or not. What's a good stream question to ask? What's a good question everybody could answer? It doesn't have to be trading related. I guess I could. How long have you guys been trading? If you had to say months or years or whatever, what would you stab at? How many years have you been looking at the markets? Not necessarily trading specifically, but looking at the markets. How long have you guys been doing that? Not that this matters anyway. I hate when people are like, "Well, I've had 20 years in the market. I'm better than you." No, that doesn't mean shit. Good looks, Eric. Sounds good, Tobias. 3 years investing in swing trading since 2016. 8 years, 5 trying to find home and learn how to trade. Coming up on 3. Damn, you've only been here for 3 years. I say only. It's set like your impact. It makes it feel like it's a lot longer. Like if you could lie to me, you could have lied to me right there and been like, I've been here for 5 years, Bueller. I'd be like, hell yeah, you have. You could have totally tricked me on that. Investing since 12 years old, active man. Yeah, Tobias is probably one of our most OGs. Well, cool. Again, like I said, it doesn't really matter in terms of like holding it over other people's heads, but I think it's just cool how long people have been around. Because I always say, maintaining is the hardest thing. So if you've been around for a while, you've learned how difficult it can or can't be. Yeah, thank God for them banning you, dude. The day they banned you was the day we received a legend. Tobias is also, just to give Tobias a little extra love here, Tobias is the only person in my entire server's history. Oh, wait, I saw Bacon. In my entire server's history to have a channel and it not get deleted in the next 6 months. I would be lying if I said how long this channel has existed, but yeah. A cool thing he does is he covers macros. He covers small shares plays. So sometimes you'll see him call out like that one, like Aurora. Or he'll buy like thousands of shares of something that's super cheap and just play equity plays. But he does a lot of macro conversations in here, which is why I've allowed this channel to exist and why I really wanted him to be part of our group, because one of his first trades in my group was actually really impressive. I'll never forget this. It was him and his brother calling out market pulling back when COVID started happening. That was the COVID pullback that they were calling out and like, all right, guys, where can we go down to and where can we recover from? And then after that, they called out the next the biggest macro move that we had. And it was just, I don't know. I've always appreciated his work in here. And I've also had tons of respect for him because it's really easy for people to get respect in my chat over a long period of time. Or not easy, but you know what I mean. And then get their own channel and then make it seem like, oh, guys, I'm the best. Only follow me. Don't listen to Bueller. Don't listen to Tobias. Don't listen to the people in chat. Only listen to me. Actually, guys, let's ditch this chat. Let's ditch this chat. Let's go make our own. We've had that happen like literally 5 or 6 times. I mean, there are multiple Discord groups that are ran by people that have been a member of this Discord before. And it's a little embarrassing that I even have to say that out loud, but I don't say embarrassing for me, embarrassing for them. Because it is genuinely crazy how people turn this into such a money thing so quickly when it's not about the money. It's about learning how to trade. It's about doing your thing and focusing on you. Prepping something, trading it, reviewing it. That's it. Right? Anything else is just ego. It's just extra BS. And that's a big reason too. I stopped promoting my courses. I stopped promoting like paid material. I stopped promoting all this different shit because I want people to focus on getting theirs, really. And I hope you guys are. I hope you're at least getting to the nitty gritty of it. What do you want to do? How do you want to chart? How do you want to plot things? How do you want to approach things? And I hope you find your way. Whether it's using some key things from the things and how we use them, cool. If we help you with one specific thing, cool. Like it's if you're adopting my entire system head to toe, also cool. It really doesn't matter to me. But it just goes to show you, again, without trying to sound like a weirdo, because I don't like to give off this like car salesman vibe. But it just goes to show like my shit works. It's just the lazy people don't survive, and the people who do really well with the system sometimes get so well with it that they turn into an egomaniac and they just, I don't know, they flip off. You can ask people on my server too. We've had to ban people in the past for getting a little bit too egotistical. And you'll hear myself too. I call myself dumb on here all the time. I make mistakes. I'm just as a fuck up as anyone else in here. I try my best not to give off that egotistical vibe because it is very annoying to witness. I'll be honest. I'm sure a lot of you have a similar opinion on that kind of thing, but it's just, I've seen people that I thought it could never happen to, and then it happens, and it's like, what the fuck? Your shit isn't different than the rest of ours. It's the exact same. And people really do think their shit smells different whenever they start making trades a certain way. It's definitely a bad thing to do. And it leads into huge mistakes. I can think of so many past traders in my group, and not even people from my group, people who have just been around, who have gone egomaniac and lost everything they had. Will I get banned if I start posting my losses? No. A big thing with posting gains or losses in my chat, just so we're all clear on that, I personally don't like to post gains or losses, but I will still share the result and I'll share what I did. I'll show everything just to kind of go over it, because I truly believe when your focus comes more on how the outcome is, that's when you lose yourself, right? If I start to become more focused on did I make or lose this amount or that amount, then I'm not even going to truly care about what I did to get to that point, right? The process is what you should be reviewing, but feel free to share whatever you want, dude. You're not going to get banned for anything like that. What? My shit smells like roses. That's what I'm saying, though. People actually think that, though. That's exactly how they think when they get to a point where they think they're profitable and they think they're doing great. They think they know everything. They think nothing can, defeat them. A lot of the time, that's when you get to that point in your head, that's when the market humbles you. Whether it's news related or something related, it doesn't matter. You get humbled pretty much as soon as you get to that point. And if you don't get humbled, then it's just going to be worse as time goes on. But yeah, I do ban people for being ego maniacs in my chat. That is a legit thing. It's literally in the rules. Like, I don't know why people don't read that shit. Self-promoting, like, weird shit, too. Like, guys, even though I'm basically just using Bueller's system, I've had success with it, so I want to share my examples of it, and I'm going to reword some things so it looks like I'm coming up with my own new system. You should join me and pay me to learn it, even though you're already trading this exact system. I had a lot of people from my group too, move on to ICT, and a lot of them failed, which is kind of fucking weird because it's basically the exact same strategy. The terms are different. That's about it, but it's all the same shit. And my strategy's been on the internet for almost 7 years now. Actually, we're pushing towards 7.5. But it's just like, I don't know. The moment I am starting my own group is about 5 days after I've blown up my portfolio. I am warning y'all. That's fucked up. I gotta recover some losses. That's a big reason too. I haven't been promoting disc or my courses. I just make it a part of the lifetime role. So people who get the lifetime membership, I just give it to them. So I don't promote my courses anymore. I have a paid playlist called BB Theory, but it's not really paid. You have to be a member of either the Discord or the YouTube. But I'm not doing this, guys. I'm selling this for $100. Buy this. Like, no, I'm done with that. Because it just gives off the wrong impression, which I didn't know at first. I think I'm thinking, oh, I'm just promoting my shit, but in reality, I look like a car salesman. So it's a part of different things in the group, but I don't like coming out and be like, guys, buy my course or buy this or buy that. If you want to get it, get it. There's tons of shit all around the server, though. There's free material in the Discord and the YouTube. There's all kinds of shit. And if you ever have questions on where to look for that, literally just ask me. I will gladly point you in the direction of wherever the hell you're trying to find. I'll send a link to the Discord if anybody is in here chilling and you have no idea how to get here. But yeah. I would definitely, though, not just get a membership, like I said, like 1,000 times already. I would definitely look at like stuff like this, like on my YouTube channel. I'd go to the YouTube channel and go to playlist. I would check out the Welcome to BB playlist specifically, literally for that exact reason. If you have a membership on my channel, if you have a colored name in my stream right now, like you've signed up for the membership role thing, I think it's like $5, $5 or $6. You have access to BB Theory. So yeah, go check that out. That is your paid playlist besides all the hundreds of videos that are in there already. If you're not a paid, like I said, Welcome to BB. I would check out this Fibs and Lee Test playlist, since that's a lot of the good shit we like to look at. And if you want to look at like some of our older playlists, like Scalp series or my live trade series, these are both the same thing basically. But they're, how many videos? Almost 40 videos of just live trades, showing you like templates right? Because there's a couple types of entries in my group, which again, everybody has these entries. What I'm about to go over is not anything special. It's just a template, basically. These are templates, right? When you have a move over a level, this is what we call a 40% entry. Why is it called 40%? Why aren't we just calling it an open range breakout? Because I didn't know that's what it was called when I was going over this shit in the very beginning. I would just like to split up everything into probabilities. So out of 100% of probability, this has 40% of continuing. Why? Because all it's done is pushed the level. It hasn't done anything to add on to that 40%. Now, if I have context before that, that can increase that number. If I have context after this, like a retest holding and a bullish hammer appearing, that number doubles. That number should be 80% now, because now we have double the amount of context, right? And like I said, we're never going to be 100%. And that's a big reason too. And I didn't know they were called liquidity grabs. I didn't know they had a name, but they do have a name. I don't want to sit here and pretend like I know what I'm talking about and like I'm the one who invented them. But me and Leland started noticing that some of the strongest validations were on the back end of an invalidation. What the fuck do I mean by that? Hold up. Sorry, I typed that backwards, so it kind of made me think for a second. And vice versa. Okay, this is way too big. An invalidation equals the opposite's validation. What the fuck does that mean? So, when you lose support, that's bears picking it up, right? When you regain that support, that's not just buyers taking. What else happened here? Sellers also have to give the fuck up. They have to give up. They have to retreat. They have to give back their money. They got to sell for losses. So you're not just saying bear, bull. You're saying bear, bear, and bull, bull. Where does all that extra energy, where does all that propulsion energy go? Does it just evaporate into nothing? No. It's exhausted. It launches. It's used as fuel. Hence why we used to call this the 90% entry. It's the closest thing to 100 we've ever seen. The only reason we like these so much is because, like, honestly, it happened today. I can go over it. But when it touched this, that's just a good hold. It actually closed under the level over here. Then it retook it. So it's not just, oh, it went down and then it see, that's the thing too. Like, I can now make sense of, well, it bounced here. Why didn't it make it up to here that first time? Huh? What the hell? I'm getting scammed. Market maker this, VIX, blah, blah, blah. Wine. But I see it happens here, and we already have context it's trying to hold. So not only do we have context that it's trying to hold, you now have a 90% entry saying, yes, it is holding. And here's your extra fuel so you can make it up to whatever level you have. In today's case, this is the previous day control point, the previous day halfway point. It's just a median, right? If we go down really far, a lot of the time that's where we go back up to at the very least to kind of cool off. It's like an average pullback, right? Or average recovery. When we have a dump from an important level, a lot of the time we use that as a key area to kind of remind ourselves, oh, okay, we're above it still. We'll see if we can consolidate and hold. If not, maybe this is trying to have a larger selling day. So, hope that helps. But yeah, go through the playlist. And I didn't even go over fibs yet. And all of that shit I just covered. We didn't even go over how OP, oh, this chart's already clear. This is. Right? Kind of crazy how, even on a day like this where it's not really useful, right? I didn't really need to use it today. We're using levels like this over here. Jesus, I can't remember what chart I'm on ever. But I can go back to this and kind of remind myself. Let's throw on previous day control point. Yeah. Oh my God. I can remind myself, okay, there's like a big magnet right here. just because I can see the previous day halfway point and I can see the gap up halfway point, I can see, okay, direction is going to be made from this area most likely, right? When it pushes down, it's going to this. If it breaks this, it's going down to whatever's next. What's next? Previous day close, previous day low. In today's case, in tomorrow's case, we might not have previous day close, previous day low there, right? That's for today's context. So if we're going to go down and we're going to hold something, if we break this, of course, where are we going? Down here. If we hold this, where are we going? Back up to this. It really is that simple. But if you have the wrong things on your screen and you're saying random level here, random level here, I'm actually making that level look kind of good. Hold up. Random level here, and you're saying let's go here to here and then here to here. That's fine and all, but if you're not making sense of what this is or what that is and the fact that it's repeatable, then yes, that is an issue. It might work today, it might not work tomorrow. Whereas using the key levels over and over that are repeatable is going to be something that you can use over and over and over again, right? Instead of randomly finding a level just because, you liked how, oh, cool, there's a green candle that touches a red candle here. Okay, but what the fuck is that level, though? What are you actually drawing? Is that repeatable? No, you're not going to have this exact scenario again tomorrow. So make sure you're making sure not just what you're doing is consistent, but the things that you're drawing are consistent. I have a current day open every day. I have a previous day halfway point every day. On days that I have gaps, guess what? The gap fib is there. So these are things that are repeatable. See what I'm saying? So the potential outcomes are repeatable. We just got to figure out all the in between. What's that in between? The templates, the 40%, the 80%, the 90%, the buy the dip method, the Lee test. Well, however you like to trade. But you need to have these key areas marked, or at least in your head, so you can remind yourself, oh, we're bullish from here to here. Oh, okay. We can go to there. Oh, we're bearish from here. How far can we go? To right here. You can make sense of it without making shit up. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know how I'm doing stream, because I'm just kind of going off at this point. Oh, no, that'd be cool, Tobias. That would actually make sense, though, because you're not doing it for profit. You'd be doing it because you just don't feel like being the only person paying for it. That's completely different. That's totally fine. If you ever do that down the road, maybe the whole chat could support it. Maybe we all pay for it. We'd have to see what it looks like though first, right? We'll have to see what it looks like and how things look. That would be cool though. Not a bad idea. I don't know. I've learned a lot of lessons from people who have been in my group, left, made their own group. I might hate them, but I definitely learned a lot from those idiots. Because there's a lot of things those people do that is very bad for like younger traders or newer traders, or even people who've been here for a while, but they'll see those patterns a lot quicker because they've seen that shit. If you're in a group that's constantly trying to sell you something over and over and over and over again, there's probably something wrong with it, right? If you're in a group and their Discord owner has ever been a member of a group that still exists, yeah, that's an issue because that shows that they don't actually know anything. They were willing to pay somebody to be in a group. Now you're telling me within just a couple months they're already able to handle the knowledge of everything and go over everything they can and share that and make money off of other people. What? Like that's crazy. That's like saying you went on a plane and just because you flew on the plane a couple times that you could also fly it yourself. Like what? You were just a passenger, little bro. You weren't the pilot. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you have to be a pilot to own a Discord group. I'm just saying I don't see how that's not a clear red flag. Good morning, Data J. Good to see you, dude. How is old Data J? I tweeted about you this weekend. Not that matters. What is up, brother? I'll show you the tweet in case you didn't see it. Maybe I didn't tweet it. Oh, here it is. Letterbuck tweeted about it first. 550 views. God damn, bro. That's actually pretty good. On just some random tweet like this. I bet there are so many people who clicked on this too are like, what the fuck am I looking at? This is nothing compared to what we get shared. But yeah, we're glazing you on the internet wave. We don't share all of your stuff on here. I saw them share that. I don't like to share too much from the chat because I kind of like keeping it a secret that there's a lot of badasses in my chat. Because I think it's really funny when like a new person joins and then they see how you guys talk. I think it's a flex. Like not even my own personal abilities, just the way that people come into the chat and how they see people speak. I think that's a true flex for our chat. They just come into the chat. They're like, oh, what the fuck? People are all like super nice and like speak professional as shit in here. What the hell? They'll hear me speak and be like, wait, how does he run this group? I'm lucky. I have a lot of really smart people in my chat. Nicole. Oh my God. Everyone, you need to read that. That is literally the most accurate thing I've read in the grand year of 2026. You are actually so fucking right, though. It is the pandemic traders. It is literally from COVID. Ever since COVID happened. That's about when the person I'm talking about, the 2 or 3 people I'm talking about, all left my group too. Or were still in my group taking away and then doing their own thing on the side. Even to the extent where they would tell people that they were me. They had people thinking that they were me. But that is very accurate. This isn't Kid83, right? And then on the other hand, this isn't Nicole that moved from Canada, right? That has been in my chat like years ago. If you're not either of those Nicoles, it's okay. I just had to ask. I've always wondered where that Canadian Nicole went. Because she ran into one of the traders I'm talking about, had a bad time. And I've been wondering about that. So I had to go get my kid. Wait. So I had to go get my kids and cause a commotion. Wait, what did I miss? Oh, here it is. My kids have spring break and we signed them up for soccer camp and they put the 4-year-olds with 12. What? Bro, that was like when the hurricanes hit. And I was in Little League Baseball. And I went from playing with people my age to playing with like legit people who were in like 11th, 12th grade about to go to college. That shit sucked. I learned a lot and I got to play backup pitcher and outfield and shit. But bro, that shit sucked. It was a very hard learning curve, I'll tell you that. So I can only imagine what your kids were about to experience. 4-year-olds with 12-year-olds is crazy. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. You could share all my stuff? Thank you. Me and Letterbuck are going to keep it to a minimum, though. I like that it's like a surprise to people that come in chat. They're like, oh, what the fuck's Data J posting? It was crazy? Yeah, that would piss me off. No, but I've been here for some years? Oh, okay, cool. Well, glad to see you. But yeah, that was accurate. Pandemic traders. That was... I knew you'd been around the market for a few years to at least know that. Because people hear that and they're like, what the fuck is she talking about? That's just how it is. Got in long, swing, too long, September 18th. Is Alston my stream? Is that Croyo Lucifer as your profile pic? Croyo. Oh, good shit, Tobias. Just reading some of the stuff in Trade Floor real quick. I didn't miss too much. All right, guys. Tech still look like shit. Because if it still looks like shit, SPY's going to look like shit. It's rejected here, pulled back up to here, rejecting again. Did these get better or worse? Because this adds on to that. If these did better, then this fights against XLK's downside. If these are doing worse, then this adds on to it. That should all make sense. These actually all don't look that bad. I mean, they have some nice, very big red candles right now, but they're actually on the back end of moves that went up, though, whereas tech's on the back end of moves that went down. So, to be honest, SPY should be down a lot more today, but it's not because of other sectors not being as red today. the rest of the sectors really aren't as bad as they could have been. So, to be honest, tech is all by itself right now. Though you see how we have this like green move, and then you see like the big ass red candle. Literally every chart has that, so that's why we're seeing that. Well, not literally every chart, but you know what I meant. From the main core of the 5. When I'm going over the sectors, by the way, if anybody in here is new, this is the most important one by a million miles. This is like light speed compared to the other ones. These other ones are still on bikes, but they're still important because combined between this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, we're looking at about 70 to 75% of SPY. So if you can get a good idea of where these are all going and how they're working on their own charts respectively, and then kind of pile it into your own head like a little pie, it should give you a better idea of what SPY should or shouldn't be doing. And then you go to SPY and you just see, is it lying, or is it adding, or is it aligning with what we just explained? A lot of the times it should. You're going to have occasional moments where it doesn't feel like it is. These are called anomalies, irregularities, whatever you want to call them. And a lot of the time, those are also information. Even misinformation is information. So let's say, like today, it happened actually. When everything was dumping, right? It was actually looking really bad on every sector for a second. But then, every sector, just like now, has been holding pretty well. So even though tech made us feel like it was going to just jump to the floor, which it did partially, it didn't go under a new low. Why is that? It's because other sectors actually started holding, not just completely selling off. So we can use that information to kind of point out to ourselves, oh, okay, well, SPY should be red, but it shouldn't be so red that it's making a new low. And that's what we got. We got a dip into a key level after breaking 2 key levels, by the way, right? You have a higher open. Your open's up here, and we have a key level right here. We're under that in the exact first breath of today. Not even 15 minutes later, we're under the other most key level on our screen. So we're under key levels. We see this pulling back. That's enough confirmation for me to see, okay, this should pull back. To what? To whatever other key levels we have. Today we have this, previous day close, and previous day low. It only made it down to the first one right here. I say only, like it didn't just dump for 30 minutes straight. Ever since then, though, we've just been holding on to this low, building back higher, and now the sectors are kind of telling us a little bit more clear of a story, that a lot of them are looking really good while tech is just pulling back on its own. And that is easily depicted here on your SPY chart. We see that. It's rejecting good levels still, and it's still a little bit more bearish than bullish, but it's not making new lows. It's not even breaking its current higher low. It's not doing anything to really draw any huge red flags yet. You know, could you be looking at this level for shorting down? Yeah, 100% you could. But I'm just saying you shouldn't be expecting this to go down and make a new low until you actually see continuation either on this chart itself or with the sectors to align with that information. In the same way that we did here with the key levels, right? We're breaking 2 key levels. Tech's red. Okay, we're probably going down. And the other sectors aren't giving us anything to kind of, you know, delete that. Oh God, what did I just do? You know, you never know sometimes when you click like that. Let's get rid of all those drawings on the screen. Honestly, a lot of randomly cool topics we're going over in today's stream. Not going to lie, I had none of this planned out, but I'm kind of glad we're just going over it naturally. I feel like it's the best time. Also, during pandemic is when commissions went away and every American got a stimulus check. Well, most Americans got it. I do know of a few cases where people didn't even get one. Man, the stimulus check. That's like, I don't want to hear that word again. You just gave me PTSD. Tobias needs a server in his house? Yeah, he probably does. Probably does need one. Sorry, more like the inflation check. No, you're good. I was pretty much done with what I was explaining. I need a good laugh every now and then. I would like to point out through all the thick and thin of these last few weeks, my baby girl has been holding up pretty well. If you've been paying attention to literally anything I've been posting or saying, you know that I'm bullish on Netflix. You know that I'm bullish on UPS. Excuse me. You know that I'm coughing my ass off. You know that I'm bullish on Sophie. And where's my fourth one at? Did I delete it? Oh, PayPal. So I like these for dollar cost averaging. I wouldn't specifically throw like 1,000,000 shares at them at once. I just like sprinkling a little bit here and there on them over time, so I'm not stuck to just, one spot on the chart. I don't feel like I'm lost. And yeah, those are it. Other ones are ones that I either own, looking at owning, or have and am not buying anymore until it moves. Bull, we're looking at you. I really like this one a lot too. I'll probably start buying more of this again down here just because this is a really good one. This is the potato producer company. I think they're the largest or second largest in the world, but they're the company that gives McDonald's their potatoes for their fries. So, as you probably all realize, that's kind of a big deal. But yeah, it's down in the gutters right now is why I like it. So, I think this is a good opportunity as well. It's just not as enticing to hear for most people because it's like, oh, it's a potato company, cool, dude. It's not as cool sounding as, guys, I'm getting into Netflix. Everybody has Netflix. Well, almost everybody has Netflix. Does anybody in here not have Netflix? This is not a hate campaign. I'm not here to smear you in the mud. I genuinely want to know, like, are there people in my own chat that don't even have it? I only ask because I like that we have both sides of the spectrum instead of just one, so we're not just being fed a bunch of bullshit. You could apply this to any walk of life, really. It's kind of just nice having the other side of the aisle also in the same room as you. And you're both friends, so you can both learn things from each other instead of hating each other. It's pretty interesting how that works. Oh, he does have a server in his house. Oh, shit. Dude, he can host private lobbies, bro. Dude, you could probably make mad money, by the way, if you held a gaming server up, like Counter-Strike, for instance. You could make bank for a server on a game, dude. If I was smart enough to run a server, that's what I would do. I would find a game that is making a lot of money right now, and I would promote private servers for it. I'd say, hey guys, come in here. You pay me $2 a month, and I'll give you access to come play anytime you want. Or whatever the price is. I don't know the prices. I just said I'm not educated, so don't take all of my advice, but the template of what I said, take that, Tobias. Actually, I guess Tobias doesn't need that advice. Bro's probably making more money than I'm even leaving him to. Oh, yeah, look. I'm hosting around 30 websites from home. See, that's what I said. People who have servers are just really, really smart. If you know someone that has a server or owns a server and actually does things with it, they're a very capable person. 9 times out of 10. I'd give it the 90% stamp. I've met a few people like you before, and they're always like the most capable person I've ever met in my life. That's what we should have been learning in school. How to own and run a server. Because that's where the money's at. And has been for some time. You can't even be like, well, it's just for game. No, dude, you could do so much with it. Like he just said he hosts websites with it. Websites, gaming servers, that's just 2 things. And that's hundreds of millions of people touch those 2 things. That's crazy. That is pretty cool, though. Need to run? All good, man. Have fun, man. Be safe. We love you. Don't forget that. Even if you fall into a coma for some reason, you know, don't forget that we love you, man. What is this one? Oh, it's just the drawdowns. I almost forgot what it was. I just drew that yesterday. Just checking up on some of the other charts that I like to post. I also post SPX and IWM in my chat. I give key areas and, you know, where price can go from there. Basically, I was just saying good rejections on IWM from the key levels today, but no new lows. So I was saying it's nothing to write home about, but still cool to see the levels working out the way they are. Which, again, I'm not really surprised, but I do like to share this because it's just cool to see. IWM also in the same seat. Good rejection of good key level. Except this did make a new low and hit main target below of 241s. I post SPX, IWM, and SPY. So if you like any of those charts, come check them out. Well, no, because it's not about just owning them, Rigney. You'd have to actually know what the fuck we're doing, and I don't know that, so no. I would totally do it if I knew what I was doing and I had money for it and I had space for it, but yeah. It's not really about having it, it's the knowledge that's important. The amount of failures you have to go through as well, like the amount of things you test and fail just to kind of get to a point where you actually understand what you're doing, it's a lot. That's what I was saying. Like, those people are like a little different. They're built a little different. You could just buy them for Tobias and make him be your slave. I mean, employee, coworker. Yeah, exactly. Give him money to do it. Yes, sir. It does look like it, Gary. Make sure though that you aren't just using this by itself. This looks perfect on its own. Now it's about seeing if tech continues to recover and if these remain, you know, just kind of where they've been at or trending up. Just make sure you see that while you're going through that. But you are 100% on it. Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir. Because you have a low, you have a higher low, liquidity grab, a higher low, by the way, and a hammer. So you have three things telling us yes, buy the dip potential. It just feels weird probably because you're under today's open, you're under PDCP. But like I said, make sure you're tracking this because this is the real reason it's bouncing is because tech was at a new low and bounced, and these have been going up. So it looks really good because a lot of our sectors have been recovering very well. It's just tech. Tech needs to continue to do that. These other ones have done really well for the market to try and recover, at least short term for today's session. I don't mean like recover for the past few weeks. Of course, I don't mean that. You could talk to Tobias about that, Maddie. He might be able to shift it all over or something. Work something out with him over time or something. Well, he's not here right now. He had to go. But you should definitely talk to him about that because you could definitely benefit from that. And I don't see why he wouldn't, unless he's already full on stuff, you know, then maybe he can't, but doesn't hurt to try and ask. And how's the stream so far, guys? I did my best to try and give good updates and then also try to cover some productive stuff for people who aren't trying to trade every single day. Hopefully the stream is good enough for you guys so far, though. Make sure you drop a like if you have enjoyed yourself so far. That's all I ask. A simple click of a thumbs up button. I would also check out the free content everywhere. I really don't like when people just join my group and sign up instantly, like I explained earlier. Really appreciate when people actually take time to go through a couple of things, try to understand how things work here first. And if they want to sign up, that's cool. If they want to support, that's cool. If they want to just sit there and not pay for anything and just learn, that is also cool. You know, you're just as welcome as anyone else. But yeah, I just don't like idiots who run into a wall with the lights off. Which I don't think you guys are like that. I'm just saying there are many people like that. They'll just throw money at things and then complain when it doesn't instantly pay out. It's like, Jesus Christ. You just can't help everybody, though. I've had to slowly learn that the hard way. When you try to please everyone, that's when you truly lose yourself. I think I was at that point about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And y'all saw my burnout. I had horrible burnout. I was so burned out over nothing. I felt so bad about it too, because it was like, what am I even being lazy about? Like, why? But glad to be here. Glad to have somewhat learned a few lessons. We'll see if I actually learned. I see our tech sector teetering. Wix on a couple of those top sectors. Staples pulling back. Healthcare pulling back a little bit right now. Might see a failed by the dip trade here, which I'm not trading right now. I got a good scalp at the beginning of the day. I am chilling. I would like you guys, if you're just now tuning in, to go back to the beginning of the stream. You'll see just how bearish I was from the beginning of the day. Now, and you'll see too, I kind of slowed down in my tone too. I knew that the slowdown was very real. So I'm not trying to be the person who's like, guys, we're going to the bottom. We're going to zero. No, when I'm calling out, I mean like to the next level. I don't like to think too far ahead because I just think I don't know. I think you're just guessing when you think that far ahead. I think it's good to go over things like okay, from here it can do this, from here it can do that, and like in that sense. But I don't think it's good to be like, oh, dude, we're going to zero from here. No, we're going to 650 from here. Like you with that fake confidence again. That's not good. Practicing on paper already in and out. Okay, I bet. I'll be honest, that was a good find. Make sure you remember, though, on your BTD setups that they're going to be a little bit rockier of a setup. It's not like a retest, where you know that if it doesn't work, you should just cut it soon. On your buy the dip method, you're going to have to hold through on some roughy moves sometimes. But if you ever see the candle that made you bullish on it start to break or falter, that's definitely a good sign to just kind of be like, all right, I need to get out of this before it gets worse. But just remember that. It's the same thing when I go over like scalps. If you're going to treat this trade like a scalp, end it like a scalp. If you're going to buy into a buy the dip, end it like a buy the dip. I'm not getting on to you. I'm just saying they are going to be a more rough trade because it's going through consolidation phase to move up compared to like a breakout or a retest. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more rough of a trade. So sometimes it doesn't just instantly pop, I give my stop losses looser setups when I do the buy the dip method is why, or that's why I'm trying to explain it. I'm nervous. You guys are all looking at me. Man, those 28 years later movies were such a letdown, man. I fucking love those movies too, dude. The 28 days, 28 weeks, 28 years just got, ugh. And as I said earlier, if y'all have not seen Project Hail Mary, you need to see that. I'm not even joking when I'm saying that might be the best movie of this year. But we don't know yet because we still have that Christopher Nolan movie at the end of the year. What movie is it called again? It's not Prometheus, but that's the word I think of every time. It's one of those damn names. I can't remember it now. That movie's going to be a contender as well for movie of the year. Apollo? No. Now I got to look it up because I can't remember the damn name. Odyssey, the Odyssey. Yeah, the Odyssey is probably going to be a contender for best movie of the year. It comes out July 17th. Damn, they moved the date up. Okay. And just listen to this lineup of people in this movie. Matt Damon as probably the lead role. Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Zendaya, Robert Pattinson, Charlize Theron. I probably said that name wrong. Lupita Nyong'o. Like, there's just so many people in this movie. A Nolan movie at that. I'm excited for that one though. This is why I said that too to you, Gary, because I wanted you to realize like it sometimes is rougher. Like it felt like it was the end of the world on that candle. Now it feels like it's the beginning of the world. And it's literally just because you're seeing like 4 or 5 sectors do the same thing at once. You're seeing F, C, Y, V, and P do a lot of moves at the same time. So it's drawing these like heavy moves all at the same time. You know what I mean? That's why I said I give these a little bit wider of a stop loss for your buy the dip setups, because sometimes on days like this, when more sectors than one are all kind of doing the same thing, you get quick moves in both directions, and it can kind of make you feel one way or another very quickly. Not to say that this is definitely going up now. I'm just saying, like, I know what you felt when you were looking at this candle and looking through the sectors. It definitely felt like, oh shit, this isn't going up. But that's exactly what they do on the buy the dip setup. Not every time, but you will see it. You will experience it. Make sure you take note of that too. Got to be a little looser on your buy the dip setups because there's a lot more to deal with. You could even say you could be more passive, but it's really up to you on how you think on that. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm kind of glad to see this going down and then up too, just to kind of to talk about that, because there is a reason it's doing that. It's not just doing it randomly. There's a huge reason it's doing that. It's because multiple sectors are doing the same thing at the same exact time, and they're not going with tech, right? Tech's going up now, but it wasn't at first. These were all trying to go down with it, so it made it feel a lot more bearish than it was. So just make sure you remember that too as you go through those. Not just to Gary, but to everybody in here. It can be definitely a little rough when you're looking at that BTD setup. That's one of the oldest setups in my chat, and I personally made that too. So trust me, I'm speaking from experience on that one. I've gone through many trials and tribulations with the buy the dip setup. You're really excited for it? Dude, I am too. I'm so fucking excited. I'm so excited for that movie. I thought it was going to come out end of the year, but it said July, so I'm honestly even more excited. I thought it was going to be like October or something. Or even later than that. But I'm hyped. Also, I feel like I didn't hear, maybe I'm just, because I don't really use social media, but I feel like I was in the dark on Project Hail Mary. Was this movie like promoted at all? Was this movie promoted to any of you in the stream? I swear I had never heard about it up until like the other day. And it's doing really good. They're making plenty of money and doing good on reviews, but like I had no clue this was being made or that it was made when it came out. I had never heard of it. And now it's suddenly one of the movies where I'm like, it could be movie of the year. It's between that movie and Odyssey for sure, though, for me, for this year. And we already know Odyssey is going to be good. I had a price action level marked from way back, emerging candle that used for target. I see it retesting CDO, then making a new low. That's a setup I'd like to see anyway. Oh, okay, good. As long as you have your preference, that's all I care about. As long as you have your niche trade on how you like to take it, that's all I care about. If you have triggers for yourself, conditions for yourself to do certain things, that's all I care. Very good to hear, Gary. Also, hope you're doing good, man. Just like life and shit. And shit.
I had to drink some water. Water be so good, yo. One of my favorite pros on this game I watched, they were asking him, "Do you like beer or wine better when you go to from different countries?" And he was like, "I like water." Fuck yeah, you do. That's my boy. Still alive, still fighting. Oh, I never doubted it for a second, brother. Oh, these aren't hands, these are paws. My father was a bear. Good shit, JC. I see you paying attention to Letterboxd messages. I always pay attention to a Letterboxd update. I mean, it is damn near a signal. Not to put pressure on Buck, but he do be showing some good stuff. I like that in chat too. I don't see a lot of like mongering, like people trying to make other people bearish or bullish, you know? It's just people pointing out things. You can agree to disagree, or you can just disagree. It's cool. Or agree. You know, that's also on the plate. I also just like that there's so many different ways to do things. You know, there's people in chat who are waiting for a quick short scalp to the downside from certain levels or certain key areas. You know, things that they like to repeat over and over again. Their niche trade. And then there's people who like to wait for the pullback and wait for the consolidation and get the buy the dip method going. You know, that's another good niche trade. There's people who just straight up take the breakouts of only key levels after they have good context beforehand. Like, I don't like to just take breakouts, but if I see other things and then I see that breakout, it's not just a breakout to me. Like today, honestly, is a good example. I think there's people in here that are even going to be like, well, I don't like to trade the first 10 minutes. That's fine. But today's plan was pretty clear from the beginning of the day. So it gave us that extra confidence from the context we were using, not just seeing one candle close under one good level with room to the next, but to point out, oh, hey, there's a key level here, it's breaking, and it just went up a bunch in pre-market for literally no reason. Besides maybe like recovery, you know, just more of a relief bounce in the pre-market today. Oh, I can remove that now. That's when I was drawing on the daily. Looks like tech's done okay to recover, but they haven't gotten over anything. I would just like to point that out. These other sectors honestly don't look bad. It's crazy how much of a green day today could have been if tech was just going up or just holding something, because every other sector did pretty good today. SPY could be a lot more than just 0.5% up right now from previous day close. Which, remember, guys, I think a lot of people tend to forget that. You know, I think they see this big red candle and they think we're down because it's from today's open, but you have to remember we closed down here Friday. So even though we're only right here, that's technically still up. It's just not a lot. I didn't even see what time it was, dude. The first phase of the day ended. I've been talking a lot today. I know I'm talking a lot whenever the time just starts flying. I was genuinely thinking it wasn't even like near 10:30 yet. It's after 10:30.
So that means the first phase of the day is over. Love hearing the voice, though. Appreciate you. I just hope we're actually covering enough productive things in here. I mean, I act like I'm scared of that, but we sit here and we'll cover topics every single fucking stream on top of updates, and we still have so much time to just kind of mess around. So it's like a fake fear of mine, but I like to hold myself accountable to at least go over a couple things each stream. Just because imagine there's somebody who can't be here in the stream. You know, they're just in chat in the Discord and they can't join the streams live. Like, I hope they can come back into these and check out the first, 2 hours of the stream. If the first 2 hours are productive enough, I think that's good enough in my book. So somebody can actually replay the stream or go back and watch it and learn something or go through something or repeat something. Maybe they've heard it 1,000 times. They want to hear it again. It's whatever. But I make that very clear with my group, though. If you make it to the 10:30 part of my stream, that's about as far as you need to go. After that, it pretty much chills off a little bit. Maybe I talk about a couple things or I'll clip something, but a lot of the time, the first 2 hours are very replayable, if that's even a word, for my streams. Ooh, nice, Fipo. How they taste? Or how does that taste? That sounds good. It's crazy, dude. I literally just saw that word in the latest episode I was watching of One Piece. No bullshit. In the beginning of Wano, they're literally talking about food, 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 and they literally have a mochi in one of the scenes. I'm probably saying that word wrong. Mind blown. Tech is only at 0.5 now, so Tech's recovering at least a little bit. Like I said, left eye open, always on those sectors. Gonna go, what is it called? Not lazy eye. What is it called when your eyes like separate? That's what mine are gonna do. I'll be like an iguana. Left eye only on the left side of the screen. Right eye only on the spy chart. But yeah, not bad recovery from Tech so far. Like I said, they still need to get over good levels, but it's still nice to see them at least trying to go in the same direction as other sectors, allowing Spy to go up. But as you guys can see, we're only back to the median. We're back to the 50% of yesterday. So it's like we zeroed ourselves out after falling all that much. Haven't retaken anything that we can pump over yet, but we've gotten to the point where we're right under that level. So back to another good key level for direction. 30 minutes really speaking. We'll come back and check this. Let's very clear signs on that chart. I've always loved the 30 minute though. The 30 minutes always looked that clean. It's funny because your software part of Tech is actually up 2.3% right now. IGV is up. Tech is down. Let's see if there's anything up ridiculous today. Up or down? I'll do down first or up first. The thing that's up the most on my watch list on my phone is TTD and Neo. Shutterstock's nice. Snow is up a bunch. Clean Energy is up. Datadog, XYZ, Cleveland Cliffs. Shout out to Cleveland Cliffs CEO. It's like literally the funniest human being alive. Let's do the opposite now. Let's do loss. What's down the most? Carvana today. Fastly, Texas Pacific Land, DDD, ouch. Some solar companies, Moderna. I don't see anything super, super crazy. Did you know that there's a crypto coin called Cringe? And it was trending the other day. See if I can find it. There's also a crypto coin called Freebird. There's a crypto coin called... damn it, it's not on my screen anymore, and I'm not paying for that shit. Oh, yeah. Out of the most active cryptos, in 6th place, behind Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Ripple, and whatever the hell WAGMI is, there's a crypto coin called Sperm Whale, crypto coin called Cringe, crypto coin called Rage Guy. There's an air coin. Yeah, we're cooked. Honestly, I know every name on this list for the equities except this one. What the hell is this? This is apparently one of the most active equities in the market right now. Only 4th place to SPY, Triple Q, and the Dow. It's a therapeutic stock. Oh, okay. Get this off my screen. BATL. Oil. Okay. Why are they down so much? What kind of oil company is this? Oh, it's US related. Never mind. I don't know what the hell this is. I think this is AI. They have AI in their company name. That one doesn't look too crazy. Oh, right, on earnings. Oh, that was today. Generative AI solutions for the retail and e-commerce sectors. That doesn't help me. That's why Google's the best thing to consult with. You don't want to be like the Upstart guy. Well, Upstart, what do they do? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Upstart, what does the company do? You just talked about them. What did they do? Yeah, I didn't catch that. My internet. You don't want to be like that guy. An openly obvious idiot. Okay, they're an SaaS. They have a platform known as the Brain Suite, aims to transform digital shopping by using AI to handle product search, engagement, and transactions, often referred to as, I'm not reading that word, an AI-driven search and product discovery tool. Damn, I actually don't hate this one. To understand complex shopper queries, find a black dress for a wedding under 200, rather than relying on traditional rigid filters. Ah. They also have an LLM. So it is an AI, and they have a part of it that is LLM. That is cool. This allows AI agents to act on behalf of consumers to search, negotiate, and complete purchases. I guess let me ask it. Are ZLV AI or only LLM? Because that will piss me off. While it uses an LLM, AI stack rather than a general purpose model like GPT or Cloud. Okay, so they have both. Cool. Huh. We might have to throw this one on the list. Why is it in the same headline as Trump? I like how this is worded. He said his favorite thing would be to take the oil in Iran. God, dude. The U.S. and invading over energy has got to be studied. Okay, so it was trendy because of its outlook, not anything to do with the news that came out. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't like related to anything. Yeah, this is actually an Iran stock. Like, that would definitely give me some concern. Let's add it. I'm gonna put it in the good list because low key that sounds kind of cool. RZLV. There, now I'll never forget it. I'm glad I bumped into that one. Sometimes I like to look at like my stock twits and just kind of look like what's up the most, what's down the most, and just look at a couple of them, especially the ones I've never heard of. Sometimes, a lot of the time, I should say, it's like meme stocks or a therapeutic stock. So a lot of the time I just trash that and move on. But sometimes when it's something like that, I kind of like to look into it a little bit more. That's pretty interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of AIs because a lot of them are just called AI when they're all just a bunch of LLMs. But this one is specifically both. So I guess that's cool. Or better. Movie's so good so far. Thank you. No problem. That movie's a literal banger. Also, I don't know what it is with Gosling movies and him just being on his own. Like he knows what he's doing. It's a great ass actor, man. He kind of gives me like, I know this is gonna sound so far fetched, but you just gotta wait till you hear my reasoning. He gives off like Robin Williams vibes. Like he could be in a room on his own and he could give you like any performance you need. And then at the same time, he like adds in jokes that sound super unscripted, but when you hear them, you're like, damn, that is something that is definitely that character would say. So he gives me like Robin Williams vibes because he can do whatever he wants acting wise, but he's also just fucking hilarious. Like he could be funny at any time. Not even one of my favorite actors, Gosling, but he's such a good ass actor. I don't even know if I would have like a favorite actors list, to be honest. That's like kind of impossible for me. There's just so many good actors. There's a lot of really good directors too. What is a favorite actor of yours? Maybe it's not your favorite, but what is like an actor you like a lot? Anyone in here? Feel free to share. I'm trying to think, dude. It's actually impossible. I'm like sitting here trying to think, like, if I had a gun to my head and someone said, "Who is your actual absolute top favorite?" Who are you picking? And I can't. I genuinely can't think of who I'd say. That's impossible. Robert Downey Jr. That's a good ass answer. He did pop up into my head. But like I'm thinking about it, like who would I actually say? I'd probably just be done right there. I wouldn't be able to answer that. That might be like an actual impossible question. Samuel L. Jackson, yes. Nicolas Cage. All good answers. Too many motherfucking snakes on this motherfucking plane. Not even one of his best movies, and it's just like one of the most iconic lines. That was like the only reason you went to watch that movie, was just to literally hear him say that. And to see someone use a lighter as a flamethrower. Yeah, Leo. God, dude, Leo's a great answer too. Yeah, any listed as like Leo or Brad Pitt on it is a pretty banger list. Matt Damon. Johnny Depp. Honestly, you know a movie I bet a lot of you haven't seen that's actually super good and has a famous actor's son in it? Which I believe the dad's dead now. Yeah. Okay, I had to double check that it was his son before I said that. So Philip Seymour Hoffman, rest in peace. He has a son named Cooper Hoffman, and he stars in a movie called Licorice Pizza. If you haven't seen Licorice Pizza, you're tripping. Jake Gyllenhaal, Heath Ledger. Yeah, literally none of these names have been wrong. Not a single one of these names I would not say. These are all good names. Yeah, Heath Ledger, dude. Jake Gyllenhaal's a very versatile actor too now. Him and Bale give off the same vibes. Like they could just go do whatever is asked of them. Not to put him on Bale's level, but just they do a lot of shit. Matthew McConaughey. They can go from being chunkier to super skinny and perfectly like adapt to it. It's just crazy. Chalamet. Rejecting 63780s again. This is the second time, so we have a little bit more context compared to the first where it just dumped and went into that hammer. This one is showing us that it is most likely trying to pull back, but to what? We have this area right here to look out for, so if it comes back, we'll be looking into the meat of that. If it breaks that, it's most likely going to the lows. And if it's breaking that, then we have a new low of day. Looking to go test previous day low. Tom Cruise, yeah. Licorice Pizza, never seen it, but heard good things. Yeah, it's a banger. I feel like it's super underrated. Liam Neeson, yeah, Liam Neeson's a banger. He honestly helped invent the funniest Family Guy like memes ever. Whenever he's in that movie Taken and he's like listening to the guy's voice over the phone, and Family Guy they recreate it, and the word he said was Jacquard Noir, the cologne that they all wear probably. That was the funniest bit for that whole movie, I thought. Jacquard Noir. The cologne. Also, it's really cool because Liam Neeson's really good friends with like Seth MacFarlane and like the Family Guy crew, so he always pops up in their movies and all their different things. Like that, Liam Neeson's very cool. Oh, you know somebody y'all didn't say that's absolutely so Giga Chad of an answer? Superman. Who's the Superman actor? What's his name? That guy. The good Gerald from The Witcher. I can't remember his name, but his face is in my freaking head. But yeah, that guy is a super, super, super good actor. Also, his just real life character is pretty awesome. He's an absolute nerd. Yeah, Henry Cavill. There you go. Yeah, Henry Cavill is an actual Giga Chad of a nerd. Patrick Swayze from Red Dawn. That's another movie that I really wished was like recreated, but actually good, and it got recreated and it was horrible. I could not stand that the remake or whatever, the add-on to the Red Dawn series. That shit pissed me off. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. And they like did a new one of it and it was just so horrible. I didn't even hate the actors they chose, but there's just so many things in it that was horrible. And there's that pullback guy. Sorry, I'm not paying attention while talking about movies and shit. That is a test of the target. I would trim some if you were someone who was looking at that bearish pressure under 637.88s, because again, we have context since this isn't even the first time this has happened. It's the second. And now it's made it down to a target. So if you're in anything like that, definitely trim. And if you have any finals on that, like any runners, it'd be very cool if it could make it down to like the low of that hammer or somewhere down here. If it retakes this level or you don't like how it feels around here, just get out with what you have there. Don't be stupid. Have I seen the new Lethal Weapon? I didn't even know there was a new Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon, is it 5? Yeah, it is 5. Does it still have the... Why isn't it showing the black guy? Oh, here he is. I was going to be pissed if he didn't have him in it. What's his name? I've seen him in a million movies and I can't remember his name. I didn't see him in the pictures at first, so I was like, there's no way they did a Lethal Weapon without one of the people. Danny Glover. Danny Glover. No, I have not seen this. What the hell? I didn't even hear about it. I love Mel Gibson and Danny Glover. Joe Pesci's in it. I don't understand how these guys are in so many movies and shows too. These guys are in so much shit. I mean, just those 3 names alone that I just said. Joe Pesci, Mel Gibson, Danny Glover. Those dudes have been in movies since forever. It's like Tom Cruise. Like, dude keeps doing like more and more crazy movies, and it's just like, how? How does he keep doing this? You know, most actors, I feel like, make like a couple good ones, and then you just don't hear about them again. But some of these guys just keep doing it every year, every other year. It's crazy. Damn, I'm on fire in the Discord today. Actually sharing things instead of just being in the stream? Crazy. You know, I thought about it. We've sent animals into space. I should be able to, like, share things I'm talking about at the same time. Not just on YouTube, but on Discord. Hopefully the stream's doing good. I see we got about 20 people in here still. It's pretty crazy, not gonna lie. Be sure to drop a like on the stream if you haven't already. I 100% appreciate it. We did already hit the goal though, so I'm already happy about that. Right now we're looking to see if we're going to teeter under this reset support. This is a target for some of our scalps here. Scalp into this area, trimmed. Looking to see if runner can get some excess gains, or if we're going to have to cut it here over that purple line. It was a little weird there for a second, but we can see them wicking it now. Oh, as I said, they're wicking back up. I spoke too soon. I really liked this example, even though it's not as big of a gain as the first trade of the day, just because it's really cool just talking about context. Knowing the context of what happened at this level the first time, taking advantage of it the second time, and getting a good quick target into a recent low from that first time that it rejected it. It's not rocket science. Though sometimes it'll feel like it. Like I said, maintaining is the hardest thing to do. It's easy to click on trades. It's easy to begin. It's not easy to maintain, reset, continue over a long period of time. It's definitely a challenge. I always like to make that clear because I think everybody gets ahead of themselves when they first start trading because it just feels easy because it's a couple clicks of buttons, right? But then you start to realize the difficulty of it. And you're like, oh shit. So I always like to make that clear with people in here. Maintaining is definitely the hardest part. Anyone can open an account. Keeping it open is another issue. Entering a trade is nothing special either. Anyone can click a buy order. I could literally teach an animal to do it. Like I said earlier, it's not special. So stop treating trading super, all the time and over trading all the time as a special thing. It's not. It's a bad habit. Damn, I can't believe I didn't hear about Project Hail Mary or the new lethal weapon. I guess that just, that just shows you I really am not on social media. I can't believe I didn't hear about either of those. I don't know. I just can't handle social media. Even if you only use it for news, like you're still shown things that you don't care about seeing. There's just so much shit on there that's just such a waste of time. Time and energy that you don't need to be expending on. It's just, ugh. Looks like they are trying to hold this, so I'm going to have to just clip that runner most likely here. Still, though, very happy to see how that played out. Yep, good little reaction there. I see tech bouncing a little bit too out of my left eye. My left eye's tweaking right now. That was a good timing on your BTD message, though, Gary. That hammer, green, red, launch, touch of a target, kind of settled around it, flipped control about right there on that hammer. So it was literally just hammer to hammer. Pretty cool. It's also an inside bar on the 30-minute. Hey, I see you, Lilu, on the Discord. What's up, dude? If you're in there, go to this channel, go to Trade Floor, and then go to pinned messages, and then scroll. I mean, you can read everything you want, but definitely scroll down to the guides, the PDFs, these two right here. So this one's for FOMC. If you want to save that for FOMC events, cool. Download it, check it out. But this is the one I was trying to bring you to. The Candlestick Handbook. Make sure you check this out. This is free for literally anybody and everybody. One day, me and Leland were really tired of seeing people sell candlestick trading strats, which is just, again, a scam. So we made our own Candlestick Handbook, and we just give it to anyone we meet. So definitely check that out. That's part of the free shit that I tell people to go look at, because that's just the pinned messages in these different channels, the videos like this. This is like a membership video just posted in the channel. And just basic stuff like this. Damn, look how old that's only 2024. It's probably even older ones. I have a top 5 favorite videos on my own channel. That's kind of cringe. Oh, it looks like I actually put a cool idea behind it, though. I actually explained things, and then I thought I just straight up was like, these are my 5 favorite. I gave an honorable mention. What's the honorable mention? Oh, how to chart and use supply and demand from previous day in less than 5 minutes. What a crazy rage bait title. I've always claimed I'm not good at creating content. Like, I'm good at, like, talking about what I want to talk about, but when it comes to, like, labeling it and, like, I'm trash. Trash beyond belief. Like, I'm in 2021, and we're looking at candlestick conversations. God, dude, I forgot. Oh my God, it's Jason. It's the boy Jason, the god of Roku. Look, this is me going over BB theory essentially, and I didn't even know it. Price action plus volume confirmation. Fuck am I saying? But yeah, check out all this stuff. Pretty cool. I don't know all the free content in the Discord, to be honest with you, because there's a lot of shit in here. I don't know if all these channels are free or not. I don't think all of them are. Someone would have to tell me that, because I don't know. But yeah, tons of old shit in here, new shit in here. It's all the same shit, though, to be honest with you. So if you ever feel like you're getting overwhelmed, you're not. You just need to chill out. Because it's all the same stuff. It's just repeated, and I've probably just gotten better at saying certain things. So speaking of IBs, where's Garden? She's still around. She said in the beginning of the stream today, I think that she's busy today and won't be here till tomorrow. But she did post around in the Discord already. But good looks, yeah. It's always good to know where Garden's at. We do love our Garden trader. No homo. Did I post that IB at like the perfect time? Are we actually about to see a breakdown of it the very next candle? It makes sense to see that on the 30. Oh my god, you spawned Garden. Her ears started warming up and she was like, somebody's talking about me. What are they saying? In about 11 minutes, it's been about 3 hours since the open. We are about 50 minutes into lunch now, so like I said, I think when we see those buffer zones, I think it's good to see like, 15 to like 30 minutes go by at least. So I think 50 is plenty. So if this does play out, does continue down, it might be okay. But it is lunchtime, so I don't like to sit here and act like, oh my god, it has to move now. It already did its move down. It even recovered to the halfway point of the previous day. So technically, it doesn't have to do anything. It could just sit between 635 and 638 for a couple hours. But I do like to point out the different routes just because I don't think it's fair on you to just say, guys, you can sit between these two levels. Don't do anything. No, I mean, it's still good to trade around these levels. Like, technically, you should be bearish under 638s. It just isn't as good now because we've already done that move once, almost a second time. So looking to do it an almost third time is just like, it almost feels like you're chasing. But you should still be bearish under 638s towards 635 and looking to see if 635 can break for an even larger move. If not, then we're most likely consolidating between those two, like I said. That's why I like to point that out first, because I don't want you to just think, oh my god, it's the end of the world. Also, as shown already as well in the Discord, there's a 30-minute inside bar, which is kind of crazy. Nice, I didn't even highlight like I thought it would. But yeah, this candle is fully inside of this candle. And it's funny because this was an outside bar. So we went from an outside bar to an inside bar in the 30. And it's funny because these are all inside of the first candle of the day. There's a lot going on. I just think this one's the most interesting because it's down, recovery, potentially rejecting. So if you were to get a breakdown of an inside bar at the rejecting level, this just feels super powerful for a really large move down. It just might not feel like that it's possible because of that first candle of the day and because we've been going down these past 2 weeks. So it probably just feels a little bit, overdrawn to say that again and again. But like I said in the past, and many, I'll keep repeating it to the day I die, sectors. Your sectors are a cheat code. If your tech is falling down, your SPY is most likely falling down. So is your triple Q. If these are also going down with them, that adds on to that. As you can see today, we don't really see a whole lot of downside on a lot of these charts. Hence why we don't have a heavier drop on SPY yet. Does that make sense, though? Because we have a third of the market falling through the floor, while honestly everything's trying to go up or hold. So you're actually seeing a very rare scenario where tech is being held up by other sectors today, which is a very hard thing to do. Tech weighs so much, it takes more than just one sector to help, kind of push this chart away. If you go to SPY Analyze tab, you can see here, tech is 32%. So as you can see, it takes about 3 of them to take on tech. So as you can see here, having these 6 is pretty good for them. Again, there's other sectors. I'm just looking at the main core that I like to look at. I like to look at staples because it's a defensive rotation. And I like to look at energy because it's kind of the same thing in a similar sense, but also it's just catalytic. So I like those two as my outliers, while the rest of these are your heaviest sectors. But you do have other sectors, base materials, real estate, industrials. These are just the main ones I like to look at. We do see a breakdown occurring, guys. I wonder. That 30-minute was a little nice because remember I was looking at this and I was like, well, it kind of sucks to just cut on one green candle, on your runner. So just kind of thinking in the process, like I'm still in my runner. It's kind of cool to think about how that 30-minute was definitely screaming, hey, dumbass, it's an inside bar, telling me to wait. Telling your runner to most likely just chill for a second. Yeah, I'll probably chill for a little longer. My Monday streams normally are longer than my rest of week streams. I wanted to stream these last couple weeks on Thursday as well, but we ended up trading so much the first 3 days of the week that I didn't really want to. Is what happened there. Honestly, anytime I have called out like 2 or 3 or 4 trades that week, I try not to overdo it. I like to end it on a good note. It's treated me very well. Anytime I try to push the issue, I feel like I overdo it, and then I feel like it's my fault, and I don't actually try to take credit the right way or try to review it correctly. It's just stupid. I don't know what I was trying to screenshot there. I thought I was just going to look good there, but then I looked at it like, it looks ugly. Good timing, Letterbuck. Almost just tagged myself trying to tag you. There we go. Wano Kuni. Yeah, we'll see if this pulls back or not. I mean, it already is pulling back, but I meant we'll see if it actually makes the bigger move or not. XOK, new low. Good job, Elias. Letterbuck also just typed that in the Discord. Good shit. Good timing from both of you on that. And Elias, just for a good little challenging question for you. It might not be challenging for you. We'll see. Why is that good timing? Why am I saying that? Why am I saying good timing to y'all? What am I looking at that what you said affects? I guess I'm kind of giving it to you, but still good to ask it and see if you can answer it. By the way, I'm on the 30 minutes, so that doesn't look that impressive, but moving under the support of 630, 638, and almost already moving $1, it's pretty much a huge deal. Also, where we started telling everybody in here that we're definitely bearish from is up here, right? Up here.
We're bearish under this. We have context. We're bearish under this. Over here. Over here. I said earlier this is the second, rejection of it, but this is actually the third bearish confirmation we have under it with a very clear bearish candlestick. Right? So it's cool to see this here because it isn't the first time it's been here. Right? On its own, it definitely is like, oh damn, maybe they're just touching it, just a reaction. It'll hold and then bounce above it in a few candles. But here it feels a little bit more confident where you're like, well, I already know we're bearish here and we're seeing a bearish candlestick. I mean, you have two, but this is more of like a reaction. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. It's not bad. Another $3 move. I caught me a trade between here. Got us a trade at the very beginning of the day. I'm chilling. But damn, man, I hope you guys have been paying attention. I don't really say this from a place of like, I hope you're making money on things I'm saying. I hope I look good in front of you. I don't care about that. But I really do get excited when things work out as intended. I think anybody naturally would. And that's really all I'm excited about. But I hope you're also paying attention so you can have that same feeling, so you can do that for yourself, so you can whatever. And get reps. You need to get reps. Not everything needs to be, oh, I need to trade this and that. No, sometimes you just need to sit there on your hands and just review it and make sense of it so you can try to recreate it. But I really hope my updates and the information in here has been helpful because I've been serious about my goal. I've been wanting to be more strict, more directional, more focused. I've been doing really well on the past few, I could honestly say past 2 months of the streams being a little bit more strict and being a little bit more directional. So anyone in here who's actually trying to pay attention and learn from something, they actually get something out of it. I don't mind going back and talking about the super basics and stuff, but it is nice just sitting here and talking about, I don't even want to say more advanced because I don't want to make it sound like, oh, it's so much smarter. You have to be so much smarter to get this. It's not like that. It's just, it is a deeper level than just marking your levels. Thinking about the what to do in between. Yeah, we'll see if it breaks it, but I'm already really just happy it just got to this. Because all right, so think about it like this. Anyone who's listening, please play along with this. So we know that it's bearish from here. We know that it's bearish from here. We know that it's bearish from here. But let's flip that. Let's flip that, right? So as like a target, let's think about targets now. So you're bearish from here, but where to, right? I talk about this as more of like a passive target because it's from the recent price action of this last time it was here. We'd be stupid to ignore this. But what else has had the same effect as this on this chart for upside? 635. 635 held here. It had a 90% entry here, liquidity grab where it closes under and retakes it. That's a very strong move. That's why it had the energy to make it up so far so quick. Right? You see a hammer above it with a higher low. You see another move back above it, though it did reject eventually, but it did build back above it. Even if this dumps right here, right now, what did we just see? A reaction. They reacted to 635. They didn't just sell through it. They sold through it here. They even closed under it here. They did not do that here. So that kind of tells me that they actually are going to potentially try to hold, and we can double back this up by watching our tech chart, by flipping through our sectors. So if I see tech go retake this low, that backs up that thesis. If these charts are still holding in the way that they are now, that backs that up, right? But if you go back to that SPY chart, and we already know this, we already know we're bearish under certain levels. That's not like we're, inventing fire with that one. We know that if 635 breaks, a larger move can come towards previous day close, previous day low area down here. Previous day close to previous day low. Obvious previous day targets are down there. And we can back that up by looking at these. So you can flip through these for a little bit if you guys want. Why did I just click on Intel?
But that's why I was saying that, just because I do kind of expect a reaction, just like over here, for the exact same reasoning that we were bearish from here, because of the reaction, the continuous reactions, the repeated reactions of being against that level. I'm trying to explain that as simple as possible. That is essentially all we did there. But yeah, hopefully you guys got something out of today's stream. I feel like this was one of the best streams we've had, and I feel like I say this like every other stream or so, but this was definitely one of the best streams of the year so far. The clear directional alerts and just updates on, hey, this is doing this, and not just the alert itself, but the reasoning behind it. I actually go through it all, I explain it, because I want you guys to be able to do that too and share it as well. You know, I want to see, like Elias, he said XOK new low, Letterbuck said XOK new, like those are the updates I want to read. I don't want to go into chat and read, guys, let's all get puts. No, I want to see, hey guys, XOK is making a new low, spies under CDO and PDCP. You know, you should understand what that means without someone having to say, hey guys, we're getting 635 puts at 0.67. Make sure you get it. Like no one needs to be talking like that. Only people who are desperate to get good will talk like that. If you want to actually get better over time, you need to go through reps and actually get meaningful reps. And also, you shouldn't just be jumping into trades. Did you even prep your chart before you were looking at it that day to trade it? If not, then you probably shouldn't be looking to trade it. You didn't really give yourself a fair chance of not prepping beforehand. I feel like jumping on live like that is just kind of fucking yourself. Do you stream every day? I normally do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursdays. I don't do Fridays. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the Discord, like trade floor and just people talking and just messaging and stuff. I try my best to motivate people to post, but I have a lot of people who are like, I guess like veterans now. Like there's a lot of people in my chat who have been here for a while, so they don't feel the need to post as much anymore. It's more or less just like checking shit when they feel the need. But you could feel the need to post if you want. First time decided to join the stream, and it's been way better than any other channels. I appreciate that. There is someone who is the king of the YouTube trading streams. I'll show you who he is. We even have the same name. And he has no clue I exist. I've subscribed to him. I've even donated like memberships to him before. Where the fuck is he? Is he not live today? Nah, we're tripping, right? Hold up. Let me find his channel. Is he not streaming today? Huh? That can't be right. No, he is streaming. YouTube's just bugging out. This is the true king of trading streams. If I had any motivation, because I wouldn't say I started because of watching someone. I kind of figured out a bunch of stuff that I like on my own, and then I started realizing that some of the things I like already exist. And I would definitely say my number one motivation from like a person would be Stephen Bigelow. Rest in peace to Stephen Bigelow. But he has some of the coolest shit I've ever seen, and it lines up with exactly how I like to look at things. But he mainly does it on like larger time frame stuff. But this guy has some of the coolest breakdowns and explanations, and he actually goes through the history of the Japanese rice traders, and just this guy had a fucking gift. Rest in peace to him, but this guy had a gift, and though I was already into like how he looks at things before I even knew he existed, it definitely felt like I got mentored by him, even though he wasn't even alive anymore, just by going through this stuff. This guy's stuff is like so impactful. It's honestly insane to me, and it's cool hearing the true history of candlesticks. Right? I think people sell courses on how to trade a candlestick, but they won't tell you where they come from. It's fucking amazing to me. It's like trading SPY and not knowing sectors exist. But you should definitely check out this guy if I'm ever not live. Stock Market Live. Like I said, this is free promotion. This guy is way bigger than me by a mile. But he's the only like big person I've ever seen that I actually was like, wow, I kind of fuck with this guy. Like he's super down to earth. You should check him out though. He's definitely cool. A lot larger audience. But those are definitely probably the only two real motivations from like outside sources that I think I've ever received.
I would definitely check those two out though. But yeah, if I'm ever not streaming, I always try to tell my people just go there. You know, if something ever happens to me, please God, just go to that channel. It's the only channel I think I currently trust. And I don't even watch his stuff. I don't even pay attention to his analysis because I don't like to use other people's analysis to like throw me off. But I just think that guy's super down to earth. You can just hear it in his voice. He even makes like music. It's just funny. Yeah, down to earth, and he actually, I don't, I'm not really at liberty to be like, oh, he knows what he's talking about, but like, he seems like he does. Seems like good people. His behavior is an example of why Billiard is actually worth listening to. Okay, okay, calm down. Rest in peace, Steven. Going to take the time to watch his videos. Thanks for calling him out. No problem, man. I hope you do, man. Seriously, because if you ever follow any of my swings, about to flex real quick. If you ever follow any of my swings, because I've been doing a lot of them, as you can see, a lot of my best swings derive straight from my original strategy of just kind of paying attention to 2 EMAs and then watching, like, I don't even watch volume anymore like my old strategy shows you, but I just like the candlesticks and what they provide. You know, they're literally speaking to you, and then you use like a 8 and a 21, and it's just so easy to use, and that's exactly what he used for his T line was, I think, the 8 or the 9. So I've always used it since then just because it felt like a sign from like the skies, that I should be using it. And then I just learned over time that 21 was like a good target to go towards. But honestly, you'll see that a lot of my times I take profit before we even get to it because I don't like to be greedy and just think that it's always going to dump. I like to take what I get. And a lot of the times you'll see in my swings, we get our answers pretty quickly. We're either right or we're wrong. I don't have to sit there and complain. And you'll see it's actually very easy to minimize those losses because you're under such a powerful short-term indicator that you can actually use it. And that's the only indicators I really use anymore is for the swing strat. And you'll see too in some of my streams, sometimes I don't even throw them on to call out some of the swings I see because I've used them so much. I can just kind of see like, oh, okay, this is probably under that. Like right now, a lot of the charts are near historical EMAs, like the 200 or the 150 or whatever people use nowadays. But the 200 is normally is what normal people use. YouTube is laggy. Yeah, YouTube is very laggy today. The servers are actually having issues today. I'll show it off again, but it's very annoying. I followed Josh for like a year. I like him and he's a character sometime. Oh, okay, cool. So you already know then. Yeah, that guy's super cool. I haven't watched him a whole lot, but the little bit that I've clicked on him, if I've ever had a sick day, and I was just like, oh, let's check him out. He's like the first person where his like voice stuck with me, and I was like, man, this guy's super down to earth, or at least I think he is. It's my opinion. Bullshit! I literally just watched a chart. Yeah. Looks like it did clear up a little bit. The baseline is still trending up though. We're like breaking down the analysis of the down detector chart for YouTube. Yeah, we had a VIX volatility spike here. Must have been some news that came out. It looks like we had some IV cool off. Premiums must have been jacked. See, I could talk like a nerd too, but I don't like to. I like to talk comfortably. Some may say it sounds stupid. Some may say it's intelligent or unintelligent, but you know what? It's comfortable. Talk the way you want to talk. They're only words. I don't mean that in the sense of just go be rude to anybody. No. Yeah, YouTube is annoying today. The servers were messed up so bad that at the beginning of the stream, I thought I had to restart my stream because it wasn't displaying anything. It wasn't displaying my viewers, likes. It wasn't. I couldn't even edit the title if I wanted to at the time. I couldn't change any of that. I couldn't see the analytics. I couldn't see viewer activity. I couldn't see stream health. I couldn't see anything basically, just the preview. But I have all of that now, so it definitely did fix without me even refreshing, which is kind of weird. Respect though, YouTube. Thank you for fixing most of it. But yeah, I wonder what caused that. Because remember, YouTube connected to Google. Google connected to the AWS server shit. So I wonder if... Actually, I wonder if that's true. Our YouTube server... Wait. Our YouTube servers... Same as Google. Yes, YouTube servers are part of the same infrastructure as Google since Google... Yeah, no shit. I meant, like, are the actual data centers the same? Oh, okay, they are. They are stored literally in the same locations. Damn, they have a lot of server locations. Holy. I guess it makes sense. YouTube uses Google's global cache nodes to cache popular videos to close users. To ensure reliability, YouTube videos are not stored on just one server. They are replicated across... That's what I was trying to think about. I was thinking about it stupidly. They are replicated across multiple servers in different data centers. Parts of YouTube are increasingly being integrated into the general cloud platform infrastructure. I don't care, dude. I will stand on that hill, dude. I think the only monopoly in the globe that should exist is us not having to use other fucking browsers. I should never see... Or in Netflix. I'm cool with Netflix monopolizing too. Just stop increasing your fucking prices, please. Or you will be as bad as cable. Any higher, and I think it will actually piss people off. I think they've gotten to the extreme of where they can get up to without pissing everyone off. But if they go any higher, I don't know how they can justify it. Even with my biased ass. Even I might question that. And I'm the most biased Netflix user on the planet. And I only say that because I've actually used the other platforms a lot, and they're just so fucking awful. They're like Netflix like 10 years ago, a lot of these platforms now. Like they have like super minimal amount of content. They're specifically focused on one thing, like Hulu, live sports. That's what they're focused on. HBO, making banger TV shows, but they don't produce them every single month. What's the other ones? Paramount, just buying everything it can, even though it can't afford a whole lot. It's kind of what Disney does, except they actually make a lot of in-house, similar to Netflix, where they've kind of copied Disney's idea, making a lot of in-house and buying a lot of not in-house content, which is just genius. What else? What's the other ones? Apple TV, honestly, could be better. But it is a banger, because I've seen a couple of the things they've made over the past few years, and I'm like, holy shit, they're actually getting good. They made a couple shows, a couple movies now that I've really liked. Not just biased, but just like, or you could see are actually good quality. Apple TV's kind of cooking, but I feel like they could just add more. A lot of it comes down to just having more content, but I feel like that takes time. So maybe some of these platforms get better over time, but I just hope the prices of all of them stop increasing. That'd be cool. That'd be cool. I think the consumers would also agree with me there. Like, okay, guys, y'all push the button. You know, some of these platforms are $20, $30 a month. Let's chill there. The whole point was to shit on cable TV, not to make me pay for 4 platforms that cost more than cable. Oh, I guess it's not the whole point, but that's a big point. Wait, did I even put my last swing on there? Should be Amazon, yeah. We didn't actually call out Netflix. I was just like, hey, here's a chart in case you guys are bored. And I haven't touched anything since for swings. Two losses into a pretty nice fucking W. We had a lot of scalps these past 2 weeks. I think it's because I feel more comfortable scalping in this kind of market where it feels like things can change the next day. And I think I was right to assume so, because it has definitely felt that way for a while. Two losses there. Damn, we were on a fucking streak right here. From Pinterest, oh, we cut the runner. Which actually, that makes that a loss. Oh, no, because the runner was probably just one. But XYZ, UPS, AMD, McDonald's, ET, Dell. Damn, we were on a fucking streak on crazy tickers, too. XYZ, UPS, McDonald's, ET, Dell. Who the fuck calls out Dell? I remember this, actually, because this is where I posted it in both channels. I don't do that a lot. If I do that, it's because I'm probably, like, stupidly confident. Or because the contract I like is super expensive, so I can't post that everywhere. That's probably the only other way I do that. Yeah, because I see it here with Netflix and Avgo as well, and those are fucking $500 a piece almost. I like to keep it under 200 if I can. Lower to like 100 is nice, like 140, that's not bad. It's because it's hard to find plays like this that are $45. Like good setups, you know, like this one will always blow my mind because that's something I've never traded in my life, and I don't think we'll ever trade it again. Actually, holy shit, we might have to short this again. What am I saying? Oh, it's energy. Yeah, just kidding. Just kidding about that one, actually. I like keeping this list, though, because it reminds me of names. Like, I always forget about Soundhound, but this is such a great ticker to keep on watch. Because it's one of these ones that just randomly pops off. Its last big pop was back here. I don't know if it's this pop, or if it's somewhere in here, or from before, but there was an AI pop somewhere in here. And then since then, it's just kind of chilled, but like another one that's like, you could say it's crazy discount, but I would love to see like a ton of basing, right? So like this. I guess that works, sure. Like a ton of basing, a break of that basing like we're seeing now, and then a retake of that basing. So like a retake of this could turn into like a really, really, really good trade. But if it just keeps rejecting this, then of course that's not on the plate. But it's just kind of cool to think about it that way. But yeah, I like that list a lot because it's not really for like, I didn't change anything. It's not really for like just remembering my results. It's also kind of cool just to remember, all right, what tickers did we trade? Because in the past, I've definitely forgotten about a couple, and then I look back at them, I'm like, why did I forget about this? Like Coin. I was super bullish on Coin, and then I kind of just stopped because I was like, I don't really like any of these for entry, and I didn't really like how the market was acting. And then we got a double inside bar breakdown. Like, if I was just paying attention, I could have caught a really big trade. And I would have had confidence too, because after seeing a double inside bar break down like that and then a hammer to follow it, it's like, dude, this has to go down. If that doesn't go down, I won't even care that I'm wrong if I'm wrong. That's the kind of like the entries you should be going for. Like, you should be so confident in that if you're wrong, you're like, okay, fuck yeah, I was wrong. You shouldn't be sitting there complaining or making excuses. Good trades have bad outcomes as well. I would love to hear your take on those gurus' opinions and about index traders aren't real traders but gamblers. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm so out of touch with all the stuff with different traders nowadays because I don't pay attention to anyone anymore. I made that a really big thing for me the end of last year going into this year. That I don't even know that that was a take. And then two, I don't even know who the fuck that is. But let's go look. I want to read one of these takes. I want to learn. I want to learn. But I'll be honest with you, paying attention to a bunch of online traders a lot is just really bad. Like, if I'm one of 20 people you're watching and paying attention to, that's a problem. And I'm not even saying that for my benefit. Like, if you need to cut me off, do it. Like, do it. But you don't need to be watching, like, a bunch of people's opinions and stuff like that, because it's a lot of extra noise. What'd you say the name was again? I didn't even know there was an investing championship. That is the most cringe thing I think I've ever heard in my entire life.
That might be up in there in the top 5 most cringe things I think I've ever read in my life. There's an investing championship. Jesus, man. But yeah, I really don't pay attention to all these idiots anymore. I've had a lot of people who are a lot bigger than me take a lot of the stuff for my strategy and then sell it to their own people. And because I'm a lot smaller of a content creator, they can do that because, I mean, what am I going to do about that? OVTLYR. Yeah, I've never heard of whoever the hell this is. And it's funny too, because like anyone can come criticize me. I don't care. Some of the biggest traders on the entirety of X follow me. I don't follow all of them back. Let that simmer for a second. There is a reason I don't follow some of the biggest traders on here, despite them literally following me. There is a big reason for that. Because some of them are idiots and are lying, and it's very clear. Some of them I just have respect for and I follow them back. Some of them I just don't care about. You know, I don't know who they are. I've never talked to them. Some of them only follow me or follow back because the algo. You know, if you follow 1,000 trading accounts, you're probably going to get like 500 followers without even thinking. Wait, so this OVT guy uses AI to trade? Is that what I'm reading? I actually have an edit for people like him. We can watch it together if you want. Let me pause what I'm listening to. It took me a lot longer than I'll admit to make this. Let's watch this together. What am I doing? I'm just going to make sure it's up. Now, this is from my channel, you know, YouTube, so try not to... I don't know who that Mark guy is either. You see how out of touch I am? Like, it's just not healthy to pay attention to these people. I know you're probably not taking it all serious. You're just probably laughing at it from the outside, but I don't even like to do that. It's just a waste of time. That is pretty crazy, though. But yeah, I'm just out of touch, so I don't know. I feel like I'm probably not the best person to speak on this stuff. But to anyone who says index traders aren't real traders, but gamblers, that doesn't even make sense. Like, fundamentally, to the core of that statement, it doesn't even make sense. So it's not even just wrong. It's not even a literate sentence. That's like saying, I don't even know what to compare that to because it hurts my brain. That's like saying people who have a job are gambling because they could just go get a lotto ticket and get rich. What? Indexes are the main thing you should be trading. So I'm a little lost on that. But yeah, that's my opinion on that. So if anybody's saying that, they probably don't actually trade, and they make a lot of money off of other people, so they probably don't need to trade. So they can have opinions like that, meaning they're out of touch, they don't actually trade. I mean, I could literally call that from a mile without even meeting the person. Let's watch this edit together, though. Holy fuck, that's loud. I would also like to point out something on this. There's actually lore in this video. There's like deeper meaning. So in the beginning, this guy's a Twitter analyst, and then he runs into someone who actually makes money and actually speaks truth, right? And he gets his shit kicked in. And then in the next scene, he's a reform trader. He's one of the homies now, right? As soon as he meets AI, he's like, fuck, I'm a bitch now. I gotta trade AI now. I gotta jump on the train. So this tiger guy represents people who like to jump on the trains of basically anything. Sometimes they'll be on the good and the bad, you know? But yeah, that's what those people remind me of. People who just jump ship a bunch and don't actually learn jack shit about anything. When in reality, you should just stick with what you have and just get good with it. Become so in touch with your own strategy that it's muscle memory, it's intuition. That it's just right there, done. You know what's next. You don't have to sit there and go, well, what does this EMA say? What am I above it? Am I below it? You should just know. You shouldn't have to sit there and study for 5 minutes to see if you should enter or not. The whole point of having preparation and a strategy is to act on those confirmations, not to sit there and, let it just do whatever it wants while you sit there and don't trade it. And then you jump in late and you're pissed that you got in late. It's like, yeah, of course you lost. You got in late. A lion would never drink and drive, but a tiger would. Get it? Tiger Woods. That's pretty good, actually. Bit of punny right there. Bit of a pun. I like puns, you see. If you ever hear me say some random schizophrenic shit like that, it's because I listen to a lot of... They're not even really podcasts, but I call them that because they're just really long videos. But I watch a lot of Zach Hadel. I mean, he is like the funniest person I have ever heard in my entire life. And he has this thing wrong with his like nose or his throat or something. And the doctor said it's not endangering his life or anything, so he just kept it in there because it makes his voice sound unique. And it's actually funny because he can do a bunch of voices with it, and he's just fucking hilarious. But yeah, if you ever hear me say some random stupid shit like that, it's probably because it's from there. That shit is so funny to me, though. They could talk about the wall drying from being freshly painted and somehow make a funny situation out of it. It's crazy. I'll just get that charted up for Mike in the chat. He's looking at microslop, as he likes to call it. Damn, it's past noon already. I didn't even realize. It's a fucking W of a stream, though. How many likes did we get? 23 likes. You know what? I will take that. Michael Jordan. Shout out to you guys, though. I think I am going to end it here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to throw them out here at the end. If you have anything to say, anything to add on to, this isn't just the Bueller talk stream. I mean, I am the only one who has perms to talk in here, but
I read out every message. If you have something to share, I'm happy to talk about it as well. It's not always just about, well, what is Bueller looking at? What is Bueller looking at? If you have something you want to look at, let's look at it. Let's talk about it. I'm totally cool with it. If we sat here and talked about just the things I wanted to talk about, these streams would only be 30 minutes long. But 100% check out. I try to tell everybody this, but the first like 2 hours of the stream is like super productive and efficient. I'm just going over stuff. I'm not really goofing off yet, and then I kind of decay from there. You know, we still talk about stuff. I'm a bit random, but it does decay a little bit from there in terms of like, you know, talking about productive stuff. You know, we kind of turned into like a chill session after that, but we always talk about things whenever people bring things up and just want to, you know, hear it a different way, or maybe see it in a different light, or just hear it again, whatever it may be. I missed the beginning of the stream. What do you draw those levels based on? A lot of them are just key levels from like the daily time frame. Like a lot of these are just like drawdown fibs or supplies. I've just added them over a long period of time. It'd be a long story if I went over that, but I guess I could just show you real quick just some key levels you can mark that you have every day. So something that I like to draw just for short-term control. You'll hear me say this and type this a million times. Use blah, 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 for direction. You'll hear me say that and type it a billion times. A lot of the time I'm using the, well, today's case, this is current day open. Current day open is a really good key level that is on every day, is on every chart, is a part of every important candlestick pattern. So it's a very key level to me. And I use it for direction, right? Being above it, we're more bullish. Being below it, we're more bearish. But on its own, not really a good thing to gamble with. So what else do we have? The halfway point of previous day. You can mark this high to low. You can mark this low to high. You're going to get the exact same number. It doesn't matter how you chart it when you're just getting the 50% of something, because you're going to get the same level every time of the previous day. We also use this the exact same way we use this. They are the exact same value, right? So when I say use blah, blah, blah for direction, in today's case, we're using this area for direction technically, right? I don't have it marked like this on my other chart because it's just kind of weird. I just like to have it all kind of marked out. But technically, just to kind of show you a little bit easier of a highlight, we're using this area for direction. I know it to be bearish from here to here. I know that it can bounce from here. It doesn't have to just sell through it, right? So I use the context of, oh, it didn't hold at all the first time. It rejected the second time. It's probably trying to reject this third time, right? So if I don't like it on the first retest, maybe I want to wait for a little bit more, go for that third one. And we don't always get a clean setup like this. Today's just a really good example. But like today's example with the beginning, like why I was so bearish from the beginning is because there was no reason to be bullish yet. Nothing changed. Trump didn't tweet literally all weekend, right? Which is probably why we were allowed to go up at the beginning of today, because it probably made things seem not so bad. But in reality, this is just a relief bounce. We have the context of, oh, we've been dumping. So that was the main reason I was bearish. I'm using context to help me out there. But that's not what you were asking. You were asking for key levels. But for the gist of it, that's it. Also, there's a third level. But this third level, though, is not something you get every day, right? We had it Thursday into Friday. We had it Friday into Monday. But the 50% of a gap, right? So if you go from the previous day close to your current day open, that's the 50% gap of that gap, right? That's what we're really more focused on. In today's case, it was here to about here. So kind of being able to use this as well. I didn't really rely on it too much today. I was so focused on just being up here and it kind of just feels like we went up and smacked our head against something. And it just felt like I wanted to catch those quick moves down, no matter how many of them there were. Which I only caught this one, and then I caught this one. So I didn't even catch everything. I just caught two pieces that I really liked. I liked the first move because I was so bearish from the beginning, and I liked the second move just because I had so much context telling me, hey, dude, it's bearish under this. Bearish hammer. So I use a lot of, I put a lot of importance behind key levels and using them for direction, and then candlestick patterns. I really put a lot of value in candlestick patterns. Candlestick patterns literally speak to you and say, hey,
We're trying to go up. Hey, we're trying to go down. And sometimes people always try to use them just one off by themselves. But it's funny because, like, you can't. You just can't. You can't use them by themselves, right? If you use just this level by itself, or just this bounce by itself, you'd be bullish. But why are you bullish? There's nothing here telling us that yet. You have a slight good engulfing candle here, but it didn't even take the low. You have a liquidation move here, new low, closes back higher. So this is kind of screaming, okay, now we can go up. So can't really just use one on its own. It's nice having multiple candlesticks tell you, hey, we're trying to do this. So in short, these are key levels that I draw every day: the current day open and the previous day control point. Now, as the days progress and as you get later on into the week, I will remove some of them. Like, if we go up against this and then we reject, there's no need to clean it up. It's being used, you know. But if I go back above it, I hold above it, it goes up here, it comes back down to here, and then next week starts, like, I don't really need to be focused on these levels as much. We have more new levels to focus on. So it's a very progressing thing. These are just the short-term levels. There's 1,000 ways to draw the long-term levels. You could literally just draw the, if there's a new close, go to your far left. If there's a new close of a candle going up, you can mark that. That's an emerging candle, right? Every single one of these are an emerging candle, a new green candle closing higher that it's never been to before. These could be just good long-term history levels you draw. There's a lot of them, but I would only use that for smaller time frame scalping. For bigger time frame and smaller time frame trading, which this has been something I've been abusing the last 2 years, and I've just been so addicted to it that I can't get over it now, are drawdown levels. So let's say you have, which I'm going to show you here on the chart as well, but I want to just kind of make it make sense first. Price goes up, price comes down, price goes up, price comes down, price goes up. So you see we have an uptrend, right? But then it starts to teeter, start to make those slowdowns, and it actually starts to break those recent holds that it was trying to hold above. And now you can see trend is changing, right? It went from going up to, oh, now it's transitioning. So how do we capture that? How do we capture that it is definitely a lower high every time it comes back up as a relief bounce? How do we call it that's a relief bounce and not a retake? And how do we also call, is it a retake? You know, are they actually trying to retake it and move higher? Because that could just be another higher low. It just went down further than most people expected, right? We use drawdown fibs. So I like to go from the high to the low before the bounce happens, to the high, to the low before the bounce happens, high to the low before the bounce happens. And what I like to look for are moves that go up to this area, or at least in that relative direction. It doesn't always perfectly touch it. Sometimes it's just shortly under it. Sometimes it goes right above it. And then the next day, we have to wait an extra day. It closes back under it, which is what we really want to see because it's a good liquidity grab. Oh, I got to delete those. So let's show you what that looks like on the chart. So we actually just updated it because it was something back here. But now that we've had such a good move up and an actual transition in the trend, I can start to do it from the all-time high. So we're going to go from the all-time high to the low before they bounced, the high to the low before they bounced, high to the low before they bounced. You can actually delete that one because it's the same damn level. High to the low before it bounced, high to the... sorry, I had to look at that for a second. Low before it bounced, high to the low before it bounced, high to the low. You get it now. I don't need to keep repeating that. And technically, I can't really draw this next one yet. I mean, technically that one exists, but I meant like from here to here. Can't really draw that one yet. But just to kind of show you real quick. Let's remove all this junk real quick. So let's say this is where we're bouncing. It's a good thing that we opened higher. If we close above the low of this candle, technically this is what we have to draw because that is technically a bounce, even if the next day continues lower. But what we like to use these for, so let me give you one that's like easy to see. So you see how this one kind of came up and then it came down and then we drew this level, right? And then price bounced and it retook it the very next day. So this day tells us, okay, it's 50-50 because we have a wick on top, wick on bottom, small body candle because of what the candle's telling us. So this tells us, okay, based on the next day's open, we need to be bullish or bearish, right? So if it opened higher or even just opened where a sense where it's holding this level still, we're looking for bounces towards that next level, right? And not just that next level. You have some recent highs right here to look at too. You don't need to perfectly go up to the next level. There's other pieces of price action here. Or it falls under this. It opens here, breaks it. We have a clear plan around 656.25 that, oh, this is trying to go down, or oh, this is trying to hold, right? So the next day opening under it entirely is kind of crazy. That instantly makes us way more bearish than we were. Seeing this wick too is kind of nice because that probably means on the smaller time frames we went up at first and then tried to go up and then failed, which makes sense, honestly. Getting that lower open and then getting the lower close, now we're like, oh shit, this is definitely trying to dump a little bit more because it just closed under the recent low and it's moving away from that passive level, which tells us, oh, this is a lower high still. So these are some other larger time frame things you can add on if you want. I definitely like doing them because they're super easy to throw on. They're super, I like it because it's lazy. I don't have to think too super hard. And then you start to throw in all your other stuff that you have from your smaller time frame, our gap 50%, our previous day control point, our other gap 50%, our CDO. Now you're set, right? And I don't mark these anymore, but your previous day high, your previous day low, your pre-market high, wherever that is, probably up here somewhere, your pre-market low, I don't know where that is, probably somewhere down here, are also really good like borders, right? I don't necessarily use them as like, oh my God, it's above previous day high. Like that's not the sole thing I'm using to be bullish, right? If we're above previous day high, that means we're probably also holding the CDO. We're probably above CDO, pushing up above it. That's a first piece of context I can use to be like, okay, we're bullish here. Oh, we're more bullish here. Okay, I can see that we could go up to here and slow down because we just went through two bullish things. We hit this and it's a good target. It's a good target. It's a halfway of a gap. You know, so you can kind of use these levels to be more bullish, more bearish. You're never going to be 100%. There's many cases where you'll be very close to 50-50. What else? Yeah. Also, just a quick plug, if anything I said didn't really resonate or something you liked and you want to hear it again, a lot of my most recent videos that are public, not the member videos here, this one, these past like 5 or 6 videos or so, these are all really good, just smaller videos that explain exactly what I just said, a little bit more updated. And yeah, so if you want to go through like some actual recorded content instead of just hearing it once here on stream, awesome. If this was good enough for you though, also awesome. But yeah, so there's a lot to it, but at the same time, all of it's really simple. Like, I wouldn't say anything we do is complex, but when you add it all together, it's like, oh shit, this is a lot. But after you kind of start to understand each piece of it, then you're like, oh wait, this isn't a lot. This is actually super simple. I get it now. It's a really easy system, in my opinion. It's a lot at first. Because this isn't your usual strategy. I don't even know if what I would call my strategy is a strategy. I think it's just a really good core concept that can be used across every strategy. You know, the priority of things, the theoretical value of things. Like when we see a certain level break, we know because of past history and many reps, essentially, that it's going to do this or it's going to do that. You know, we know the higher possibility outcome when we see certain things. Like today, I knew that since we went up in pre-market that much for no reason, that we're probably going to have a good seller move at the beginning of the day. So regardless of capturing that move or not, I know that I'm going to get a first good emerging move down, and that from there I could try to catch something. So let's say I delete all these levels, right? And I just add the drawdown of this first move here, right? I can essentially look, and it's funny too, because if you look, that lines up with the 50% of what I just added. So it looks like you have that. Yeah, you have that regardless of how you plot this. You can use this area to kind of add on to that. You already know you're bearish from here. We had a good move down, right? So from there, what can you get? Good rejections, good retest down maybe. Hopefully it gives you a good move before the end of the day and you don't have to worry about theta too much. You know, so it just depends on what kind of niche trades do you like to catch. Do you like catching those obvious kind of riskier trades that you just kind of are directional on, and once you're wrong, you just get out? Are you looking to catch something from this context? Because you could even say this was from context. This had context from the previous day that we've had resistance here before. There's no reason to be bullish yet. So why are we up? You know, just something like that. That's a different kind of context. Whereas this is context of like price action. We know that we've gone down. We know that we've gone back up and rejected this. We know that we're still under this a little bit. We know we came up and rejected it again. We see a bearish candlestick say, hey, I'm trying to go down. We see the continuation of that. You know what's funny too? Without even drawing the fib this way, I promise you this right here is a midterm retest of this drawdown, right? If I go from this high to this low, I was going to say it's probably right under it, but it's perfectly under it. And it just looks like, if I was to delete everything, doesn't just this move look like a bearish retest? Just visually, doesn't it just look like one? It doesn't just look like one, it's also positioned like one. So that's what you're going for. You want it to kind of line up on all sides, if that makes sense. But there's priority. You know, I would definitely say this is your most important level each day. Your 50% of your previous day, I think it's this one, is your other most important level each day. Direction comes from these two every single day. Anytime they're in between those two, it's consolidating. So not a fun time. And anytime you're holding one, you can plan to bounce the All right, you couldn't hear me for a second, but my headset turned off. But what I was trying to say is you know, they're magnets. You know, if you're holding one, you're probably bouncing to at least go up to the other one to either reject it or retake it. There's only two possibilities, and vice versa. If it's falling under this one, it's probably trying to get to this one. So they're very good magnets that we get each day. I also have a lot of respect for people who mark the market maker move levels. I think that's also, it's essentially what we're doing. It's just we're not using that calculated MMM, but those levels are also really good. I just don't use those. But essentially, that is everything. And then, like I said earlier in the stream, there's the templates. You know, you have the 40% entry, which is just open range breakouts. We call it 40% because it, out of 100% probability, that's 40%. We don't really have a whole lot of confidence on that. It is good, but it's not great. Double that, you're 80%. That's where you have a retest of your open range break, right? You're actually getting something from that. And if you want to check out my really long video on my channel, it's the 3 types of retest. It's like a slideshow someone invited me to come do, so I did it. But that's essentially what we're looking at, are the templates, right? So we have key levels, and then we have templates of niche trades that we like to take. As we see them pop up, we can try to go over them or try to take them. But yeah. Also, I'd say another thing of context that I've been recently abusing, and I mean, I say recently, I'm talking like 2 years almost. XLK, the sectors. Just using the sectors has honestly been a cheat code. Just to kind of display that a little bit better for you. You know, essentially these charts have been identical, and there's a reason for that. It's because the left side chart is about 1/3 of that right side chart. So it is going to have a heavy impact, right? So imagine this is really red or really green one day, and these are all, and these are also really red or really green that day. That further adds impact onto this chart's impact, right? This is 1/3 of SPY. So if these are also going in the same direction as that thing that is 1/3 of SPY, then it's a lot more impactful of a move. So if these are all bleeding, you know, no shit, SPY's probably having a red day. If these are all going up, guess what? SPY's probably having a really good green day. Going up, buyers, Holt candle, whatever you want to call it. So if you can capture key levels and it rejecting or holding key levels on this chart, you most likely will do it on this chart. You add these charts together, I don't see what can stop you besides yourself. You know, over trading or making up shit or just randomly doing things without actually trying to think about it. That's where the mistakes come from. The levels work, but we are humans. We are bound to make mistakes. But yeah, so that's it for the stream, though. Thank you guys again. Thank you for the end of day question there, Lilu. I appreciate that. I'm going to end the stream here, though. If you guys have any future updates or want to share anything, feel free to throw them out in the Discord or just talk about it or whatever you want. If you have questions, throw some stuff out. Check out the content. Check out YouTube. All the stuff. Yeah. I'll see you guys later on, though. Thank you guys again. Appreciate the 25 likes on the stream. Love you all.